Ewa na ewa, londe modu na mwe, londe me modu. Mama, kwana ma, londe mada, londe mao, londe mada, londe ma, londe londe, londe mwe, londe limo, londe limo, ngabade bobo, londe ma ngabade bobo, londe ma ngabade bobo. Ewa na ewa, Ewa na ewa, ne wela boga ekina ye, ne wela boga ekina ye. Tono ega na, longe ga nyanga, ana ega na lomo garenye. Dua lomo go anama, dua lomo go. Ana ele ngabemwe, ana ele ngabemwe. Ye kuna lomo miwa, ena we galonde mima, yalonde ma ngawade ibobo, yalonde ma ngawade ibobo. Ana elo, ana elo, ana elo ngabemwe. Ewala, ana ewa, ewala, ana ewa, ana elo, egawa, yena we, lomo miwa, kuno na mwiwe, londe mimae, yadem anga baje ibobo, ana kwetumo, ana kwetumo, ana kwetumo, ana kwetumo, ana kwetumo. Ana adobanywe, ana adobanywe, ana go adobanyo, malogo na asanyo, malogo na asanyo. Sandela juwa ba walomo, sandela juwa ba walomo. Engana balo kamobo kabalo ne jubo. Ewa ana ewa londe manu namuye, ana ewa londe manu namuye, londe manu namuye. Nuadana onga nua, taona duale ngabemwe, duale kuna boge lunde rubo. Dabalie dulu jangela, deka no bebo age lotebo. Daba boy jali ba mongalo, kayele li ba teo, kayele li ba wolomo, dalen jarela di gomo ebi. Nyango we da mongo pre, nyanga duba duga monu kwe, kagale ya malo wo bubale ye. Bubale ye kwelaga ye debo, bubale ye kwelaga ye debo. Ya moyo, ya mo babale mema, malo ne bubale yenga, ya mo baba vale yenga, ya mo baba vale yenga. Danga de lo morebo, da denga ba dunga ma ya mo dia, dia ke ya ba lo we. Ya no wo vale yenga, ya no wo vale yenga kwelaga ye debo. Ewa ana ewa londe manu namuye, ewa ana ewa londe manu namuye. Ana ewa, ana ewa, ana ewa, ana ewa, ana ewa. Analine, where I galo nebo. Analine, where I galo nebo. Anaelo, malono na asanyo. Malono na asanyo. Monge bae kasanyo. Monge bae kasanyo. Monge bae kasanyo. Wenga nyewi nganwa.
Good evening. So, want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. This is the Liberia Public Radio LPR. Today is Wednesday, all things considered. And we're going to have a two segment here in two different forms. So, want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for sharing this beautiful Wednesday evening with me here from the East Coast of the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. But as you know, we always make our news fair, balanced, and proportional. In as much we talk about national politics, we also tend to look at what is happening right on our own feet with respect to organizations, groups of Liberians, some in different forms, different contexts, and have their own reasons. One of such is a group calling itself Distinguished Gentlemen of Pennsylvanian. I'm getting a little bit jealous here. I think I should have something of such here in my own ocean state, but only one person would not be part. I would not accommodate those guys, the rare cup guys from Minnesota. I'm not calling anybody name. They know themselves. Well, this distinguished gentlemen, to our understanding, there's a big program this weekend in Pennsylvania. So what this group is all about, how long has they been in existence, what is the ultimate? It's a political, social advocacy group. Who are they? Distinguished gentlemen. Well, we will find out here. Stay tuned. Welcome. I'm Alfonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio. The guests they are already backstage, and right after that, we will square it out here with my guys as usual. But we always like to make the news fair, balanced, and proportional. You're going to gain your independence here tonight because the Liberal is and his guy Jerry. We'll give them the opportunity. But the attitude of carrying on, that will not happen. You know, I'm an Israeli. You hit me, I hit you back. Just how you treat me nice, you're going to get a nice treat. But let's take the first segment here. If this is the first time on the official news outlet of the Liberia Public Radio, we say to you wholeheartedly welcome. We intend to leave no one behind in the national conversations of Liberia, the community, and our neighborhood. Let me just bring time is fast spent. Let me bring in Mr. Solo Brown. He will introduce himself, and we will dive right into the issue. Joining me now from Pennsylvania, distinguished men of Pennsylvania. Yeah, he looks really distinguished. Okay, Mr. Brown, good to have you in the house of LPR. I unmute your microphone.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for having me tonight, sir. Yeah, I really appreciate that. It's an honor to be on your show.
Okay, great. Is it possible that you can flip that thing? I want to see all of the distinguished aspects of the distinguished man. Who knows what I'm going to seek? I don't know whether you can get citizenship from other states. We'll find out of that and see. Okay.
That's better?
That much better. Okay. All right. Good to have you on the Diaspora Informative News Outlet. We are privileged. We are happy to have you. Like we said, LPR is just not all about government. You guys start these things. People downplay it, overlook it. The next thing, your truck start flying inside Liberia. You want to be a consultor, senator, representative, and potential president, VP, and all of those kind of things. So we don't joke with it yet. But thank you so much. Yes, if you are watching, just hit the share button. And by the way, we are also live on YouTube. You can also go there as well and you're watching. Okay, Mr. Brown, let's get the ball rolling. Who is Solo Brown for the benefit of those who don't know and what this think it's all about this evening?
Yeah, this is Philip Brown representing the distinguished men of Pennsylvania. Right now, I am actually the chairman of the planning committee for our board coming on Saturday, December 7th, 2024. So I'm here to share the message and to promote the distinguished men of Pennsylvania across across America.
Okay. So we ask all of the question in as much as more or less promotional, but the conversation too will also, who knows, other group people gonna emulate your good example if it's something profitable here. So let's start here. Besides being the planner of this organizations, Distinguishment of Pennsylvania, how this whole thing came about?
Oh, this whole thing came about in 2019, September 2019. It was funded by our emeritus John C. Carr, but unfortunately, it's not online tonight. But I will represent for him. It was funded by him, and a group of guys got together and just to empower the community in terms of joy and sorrow to support each other both here and back home. So we tell the wives to cheer each other up in case of, like example, probably somebody pass from your family, or maybe you get a wedding coming up, or maybe somebody houses you get a foreclosure on somebody's house, and we come in to help the process. And at least for your heart to not go in foreclosure, because that's why we're wonderful to help one another to help make sure things happen for us, in the diaspora, and also to try to empower other people in Liberia, because we try to set we got a scholarship fund because the program is actually jail for the scholarship fund for the 2025 for Liberia, needed for Liberia for the kids now.
Okay, I hear your house going foreclosure. I have issue with my card note now to meet up with it. Gentlemen can come in. No, mama, it's not funny. I'm telling you,
It's
I don't
real.
know what I want to get out of here tomorrow. I'm going to see my car outdoor there, or it will be gone. So I've fallen behind. Gentlemen, distinguished men, can they come in as well to bring me back to life?
Oh, if you live in Pennsylvania and you part of distinguishment, definitely distinguishment will try to help the process, Yeah. But meaning we really don't go like a card note and thing. No, we do like looking at unforeseen circumstances like a foreclosure, like a death, maybe like a wedding, maybe maybe like a kid, maybe have maybe have a surgery and need to pay your medical bills. We'll come in for this type of stuff. Now, but that's somebody that get a Lamborghini, and lock him back, and no, don't do that.
If you take it, you must pay it. You not pay it, who get it, they carry it.
We'll take it from you.
Okay. No, okay, this is quite, and my understanding was since 2019.
Yeah, 2019. Yeah, but 2019. We established 2019, but unfortunately, when the COVID came, everything subsided, everything went down. And after the COVID, we tried to pick up, and this is our first major program after the COVID this coming Saturday on the 7th. So we try to make it really, really big, because this is a scholarship fund drive for Liberia, meeting for Liberia, because the thing is that, look, the other time I was listening to Dr. Burbank on Spoon TV, and he said that, look, the people need to put money into education in Liberia. And I'm telling you, the education system in Liberia is bad. Just to make it very simple, it's very, very bad. So we need to do something. And this group want to be at least one of those people from the diaspora to do something for the people back home.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're going to get, Mr. Brown, promise me we're going to get to the substance of your event. That's the cardinal reason of all being here. But we just try to get a little bit backdrop of this organization so that other could potentially learn or, pick up from there as well. And so I'm curious, if I ask any question that you find it uncomfortable, you are at liberty to plead the fifth, okay? You don't force to answer it, but if you don't answer it, now they say, but we're not. They men are distinguished men, or why you didn't want to answer the host. Yeah, but like on the serious note here, is it a membership base? Is it restrictive to someone being support? I like the ideology of distinguishment of Pennsylvania, but hear me way in Rhode Island here. So I feel I'm out of the process. What is is that sort of statute of limitation? Is it only strictly for Pennsylvania folks?
Oh, I would say for right now, yes. I would say right now it's straight for Pennsylvania, but as times go by, and we'll try to amend our constitution to open it to make it broaden, for other people, for especially for our Liberians that live in our, the Liberian state. I would say like a Rhode Island. I would say like maybe Minnesota. I would say like
Man,
New York, Maryland, and Georgia.
where you want to go, Minnesota? You want to bring the Red Cops on board?
No, no. As times go by, we'll try to broaden it to amend our constitution to bring a rare cup on board as well.
When you decide to go to Minnesota, let me know. There's 1 or 2% there. They will not join.
Okay.
I will campaign against them vigorously.
Please.
They tried taking the woman job in Liberia. It didn't work, so they're looking for anywhere to hang. I'm telling you. But on a serious note here, so it seems to be like a membership base. How do you get up your financial resources, meeting some of these needs, and how do you go about? And two, I know one of the things that get our organization, even on the county levels, getting fragmented is this politics of Liberia has managed to transfer into our own establishment, and that becomes very, very bitter. So, how do you gather money? Do you make monthly contributions? You pay dues, or what have you?
Yeah, this is how we get our revenue through deals. We pay the monthly deal. We pay the monthly deal, and also to we pay like yes, like a meeting deals, and we pay like a monthly deal. So that's how we generate our money from, and also we try to solicit, like a money, like we do like a probably like a cookout, maybe like a fund drive or something. That's how we generate our money for now. But later on down the road, yes, we'll do bigger things to see how best we can, rather bring, to the state or to the city, or see how best we can get something to help the people back home, especially when it comes to education. Yeah.
So, have you, let's get it straight right now. You say education, which is good. People likes to contribute, but sometimes the hands they lay on some, they put their left hand, they can do bad thing. So, have you intervened? Have you impacted some sort of someone's life in Liberia in any form, in any shape since you have started this organization?
No, as I said, though, not yet. This is our first major program. This coming yes, December 7th. The theme of the program is about scholarship drive or the 2025 to help the people back home. This is our first major program because
Oh,
when we funded 2019, the COVID came and everything went down, and we just try to get right back on our feet right now. So
okay.
this is our first major program that able to help those people back home. But yes, to your question, no, we haven't helped anybody back home yet, not yet.
Okay, but there's something in the pipeline, hopefully to be done. Okay,
Yes.
so let's come to the preparations in Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania is such a place that it's a big land. Liberians are grounded in huge number here. Set the stage for us here. The occasion is in terms of dress code. The name bearing distinguished gentlemen, trust me, man, I know the real tuxedos and Letty's gonna be throwing in there. See what you're wearing, said man. Yeah, you're a real gentleman from PPA. So where would this ball coronation be held, and how much for getting take, for example?
Yeah, the ball coordination will be held, yes, in Shower Hill, 100 Shower Hill. It's a hall there in Philadelphia International. It's a hall that where the ball be held. And the deal, yes, the admission for the ball is just $25, and yes, the food, drinks, everything will be free, and also it's a formal wear anyway. It's a formal wear. Yeah, it's not something that you have to wear. You don't wear jean trousers or t-shirt or so. No, it's a formal wear. Everybody will be in the tux, and the women will be in the beautiful dresses and things. Yeah, it's a formal wear.
Oh wow. Okay. How many persons you anticipating to grace this occasion? By the way, LPR Mazzola Gizi, the lover boy is all set. His gadgets are all tight in place. We're going to be getting those colorful images. My guess, A lot of PA and my ocean still going to be kind of like computing this weekend because there's another big event. But of course, I mean, once it comes from LPR, it always bound to be good. Is there any speaker or so? How much you anticipate raising in terms of you inviting other organizations?
Yes, we invited. Tons of organization. Probably, I will get 13 on our list. We'll get 13 on our list. So far, 13 organization on our list. I can name it, 13 organization on our list, and so far, and our guest speaker is coming from New Jersey. And other, I guess, we'll get a chief launcher. We get our patrons. We get a couple of patrons. We get special guests coming. Couples of special guests coming in, and along with all the organizations. So we intend to raise something. By the grace of God, we intend to raise something good.
Okay. Is that what red carpet event? Because you're having people watching all over. Is that a red carpet, man, or what's going on there?
Yeah, it is. In a sense, it is a red carpet because we do have ushers that will be able to take people to the seat. When our dignitaries come, we get an ushers that will take them to the seat. The VIP seat. Yeah, it's a red carpet event.
We get all kinds of grand men now. You see, Mr. Brooks is trying to he's starting trouble here. But we always like the comments of our guys. They put it in check. Is part of the interaction that get it going. So we'll be sharing some of these beautiful tweets that from our online here. And this is this 1 year that the trouble man. I want you to join from Minnesota that he the one. So let's see what Mr. Houston Brooks is saying. Mr. Soda Brown, wrap your neck with scarf in the heart. Is that one of the marks that makes you a distinguished?
And to answer his question, no, it's had nothing to do with being distinguished with a scarf in the house. No, yeah.
I mean, I just got to be okay. So yeah. So at what time the program starts? We Liberian community have the tendency starting time, ending time, and all of that. What is the preparation in terms of we got to get this thing going strictly on time, not in Liberian time, and looking at why is calling who in the hall, who is not in the hall. You have to be there first, and others are going to follow.
Yeah, actually, our program was shot prompt yes at 8 p.m. Yes, Eastern time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and it should be done by 2 a.m. Yes, Eastern time.
What is the strength of this membership? How many members are part of this group as of now?
Oh, as of now, we get 35 members now. As of now, 35 members so far.
Active or inactive or what the category of those? Because I know
no. The 35 members are all active members. Yeah, strong active members. 35
paying their dues.
Paying the dues on time. They come to meeting unless probably maybe some unforeseen some situation pop up emergency or family emergency. They can come to meeting. They would definitely email the president or call the president or text the president that they can't make it to the meeting. But yes, they are all due members. They're paying the dues on time. 35 members. Yeah.
I have a discipline. I like to see a disciplined group and respect their leaders and give people talking. What's about the structure of the organizations in terms of accountability, financial? This is one of the things that always break the camel's back within our diaspora community. We have these organizations, volunteer, pay their nickel or dime, no financial accountability, and that is sickening. And people are fed up. And this is why sometimes when a year organization need to just turn their face on the side. What is the financial accountability? As long as people are paying you, my assumption here is it's been regular. They must have a treasurer or some sort of person to tell members how much coming in, how much going out.
Yeah, to answer the question, our financial status so far right now is good because the check and balance is great. The internal control of DMP right now is good. Our financial secretary and the treasurer, they all any kind of transaction whatsoever, any kind of comprehensive report, they put it. We do have a WhatsApp a site, and they put everything right on WhatsApp chat on the site right there for everybody to see, for the 35 members to see, and nothing here, Yeah, because we know a lot of Liberian organization, African organization, the problem is a financial problem that breaking away. So for us, we knew and we try to keep it very, very, very transparent. Everything is put right on the site, and everybody see what's coming in, what's going out.
Okay. You don't let be many to get do a man that can infiltrate a WhatsApp group, and by the time you go low all your thing.
No, you're right. Because they get couples of Nigerian guys, then yeah.
Something happens today. I'm not sure whether I should go public because people they share with me, and we'll try to do everything possible to keep track of that here. But it is insane. The media, what is happening online is unbelievable. Somebody, one of our followers was badly hurt, but I don't want to make it public now. We want to do all of this, and it has nothing to do. So let's just have our conversation later on in the segment. I'm going to bring it in. So let's have a conversation here. The structure of the organizations, leadership wise, do you guys have what, elections or what?
Yeah, we have election every 2 years. Every 2 years we have an election. Every 2 years we just have election on this yesterday last year we have an election last year. So our president right now is yesterday Noah Weber Foley is our president right now. He should be online, but for one or two situations, he running late. But
we have some sort of miscommunication for some reason. I was seeing get this message, but it's good that you hear, and our guy Manzola obviously going to be at the program. Okay, so I know because our people election is one of the things that always screw our stuff up because like bro, man, if he or she doesn't win election, then it's a cheater one.
yeah.
It's okay. How are you managing with this Liberian politics being to infiltrate your organization? Because we see that happening in here on different levels, different places, and that it brings a lot of huge divides.
Yeah, we try to keep it very simple because you know what? Look, it's a lot of guys, and we get 35 guys, 35 men. I know one way or the other, they do have some attachment with some political and political party in Liberia. So we try to keep it, as clean as possible, and trying to keep all the political, affiliation from Liberia on our distinguished men. Because you know what? If we try to bring that in there, it would definitely, put it apart. So we try to keep it. We try to keep it very clean. Still, and all Liberian politics try to keep keep away the politics. Yeah, because we know some guys and it bring hard feelings.
Yeah.
So try to keep away the politics. Yeah.
Okay, I think Mr. Fuller is you said the president?
Yeah.
Okay, I see the president is here to Wilbert Foley. Yeah, I see the president said look at you, he's sitting in there now for fun. So
Hello.
I don't know how can I file in the protest because you have this thing restricted to Pennsylvania, meaning I have to move to Pennsylvania in order to be a distinguished man. Is that fair? Mr. Foley, Mr. President, welcome. I think this the guy, Mr. Brown, been waiting for you to answer this question. Good evening, welcome.
Yeah, good evening. So how you doing, man?
Good.
I apologize.
Yeah, no, we know, and I think there was some miscommunication in other things. I was not getting some of the messages, but that is okay. It's better than never. So, look, distinguished men of Pennsylvania. That's quite. You are the president?
Yes, I am.
No, you don't let the majority and minority black business.
Well,
Well, 35 when 25 men go or 10 men go one side and so some money.
well, that is impossible to happen because there's no salary. There's no salary here. No one's getting paid. So I know you're cracking it. Yeah.
The idea was people president that showed up all of this. That alone, Mr. President, people love the title. I mean, they love the title, not even the function. So, but anyway, I don't think that's going to happen. But thank you for you guys. I mean, coming together, people of different backgrounds, different political view, but to just come together and say, hey, let's do this. That's something that's commendable because that's another way of getting somewhere. How difficult was this here? Who initiated this idea? Since you're the president, you know. Yeah, how this thing, who initiated it and why you and even the Brown tap into that?
Yes, the distinguished man was initially conceived by a group of fellows led by John Carl Harris, um, John Carl Harris, Fulcano Shelton, McIntosh, Elliot McIntosh, Tio Sompon, and a group of other guys. They called me on board to come and join. That was 2019, including Solo Brown, Jamal Morris, and the list goes on. So we all came together, established organization, um, and the first president was Mr. John Carl Harris. He's supposed to be on tonight, so I don't know if he got the email. John Carl Harris was served as the first president from 2019 up to 2023. But when COVID came, the organization became a little dormant. So we decided to revamp it last year, 2023. That was when Mr. Harris said he was stepping aside due to other matters, his personal engagements. So that's how I became president of the organization. And collaboratively, we have worked every member, because this is not an individual thing. Every member, we work, calling one another back and forth to get this thing together. And then Mr. Brown, for our Christmas banquet, Mr. Brown asked Mr. Brown to serve as the committee chair, and he has been working beyond expectations. So I think you can see how far he has gone. Mr. Brown, Michael Manya, Fulcano Shelton has been helping, Gordon Babu, John Carl Harris, Albert Johnson, F. Blamo, the vice president. He too should be on here tonight. I don't know if he got the email. For my email, it went to a spam mail. So
I have Solo is here. What about you here? There were 3 emails forwarded. M. Manja, who is that?
Yeah, Michael Benji. Yeah, he's the vice chair. Yeah, for the program.
I'll send the link too, but I haven't seen the person here, so I'm not sure. But anyway, I believe you guys capable to get this thing done. And we are happy to form part of it. This is part of our own community initiative, giving back to the community. You guys reaching out to us through our guy in P8, Manzola Gisi, who going to even be there to bring this life happening to our world. And that's another way of getting out of your own comfort zone. How much do you guys anticipate to raise at this coming function, monetary wise?
monetary, we set a limited budget of $10,000, because this is our first formal program. So it's more of awareness than just the fundraising. But portion of the fund is going to be used to after extracted expensive. The remaining is going to be used to help needed students in Liberia, offer scholarship to needed students in Liberia.
Needed students in Liberia, the layout is perfect. For the most part, we will see these things coming, organizations do, people in Liberia, people in Liberia. What is the set criteria? How do you go about to identify everybody? As far as I'm concerned, everybody in our country needs something. Everybody.
Yep.
Everybody needs something, but I don't know what is the order of priority, the severity of how you going about, where is your concentration, your focus point now. I'm asking these questions because these are some of the bare rights of institution, because I believe everybody from different backgrounds, different countries, different political view put together to do this, which is okay. So it must be some sort of consensus. Gentlemen or guys, this is our concentration right now. And that way is something, is not the president or just few executives making unilateral decisions. So where is your target point right now?
So that's a very good question. Everyone in Liberia needs something. The country is so hard right now, so we can say everyone needs something. But for now, we are going to target charity institutions in Liberia. So institutions that are providing free services. For example, orphanage. So that way we know that those students definitely need that. It's not going to any member, any executive relatives or something like that.
So if I'm right, just put it out there. You're not going to start something new. You're going to work with those on ground to say, hey, gentlemen, this is the way out here. This is the way here. This is where we have been doing. Is that how you're going to do it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We're not starting something new.
Yeah, and just to add up, it is that because if the orphanage home is yes, or NG is already on ground, are helping the education system and pumping money into that, if we can come out and say, you know what, we can chip in and say, look, we can help where you fall short, we can help to help the process, at least for the kids to continue, continue the education. Instead of finding the college John Peter Paul say, look, go pay five children's tuition, go pay 10 children tuition early. No, because we know definitely things are hard. They will definitely take that money. So we'll find an organization on the ground, as the president said, and work through that organization and make things happy for the kids.
You're not just going to throw cash there. You also going to follow through because
Of course.
that country there,
Hmm.
and Wapiki, you won't take time Wapi when you. But yeah, what our own message is asking, are they giving scholarships to orphanages? Is that a category of people that you have earmarked? Is that a case, or how is it going to be done? In as much you're going to be working with people, you too have your own set criteria. Yes, these are people, these are number of people. Is there any target number of people that you hope to be the beneficiary of this in the first phase?
So, given this is a new organization, we don't know how much will be generated. This is our first program, and it's going to be a continuous process. We're going to do this every year. So as of now, we are just leaving the numbers open. I know someone asked a question if we are giving scholarship to orphanage. No, that's we are not doing that. When we say giving scholarship to needed students in Liberia, by virtue of an orphanage operating, sponsoring kids through school, they are already giving those students scholarships. So we are just going to buttress the effort.
Yeah, so but I don't like people with wasting to resources. It's the layout, scholarship, good, perfect. I want people to. But what is your own benchmark in terms of a sponsor can get because of X, Y, Z? I mean, grade wise, they gotta meet certain grade point, or the man need to go to school. Whether you even go to the school, that's a different thing. Whether you go there, you will produce. You don't want to be wasting resources. So, is there any sort of a criteria set from your end? Yes, in as much we intend, we want to help, but we will help people who wants to be helped. But people who don't want to be helped, well, the old man up there will help them.
So, Brother Soul, students at orphanages have multiple needs. It's not just academic. They probably need residential support, um, feeding, clothing, and a lot of other things they need. So, when we identify the orphanage, we will provide that assistance to the orphanage. The orphanage will determine the level of help they can provide to their students. We are not going on the ground to say we are doing our own thing. I mean, one of our members will be on the ground to make the presentation after we have identified the institution, but we are just buttressing the effort.
Yeah, initiative.
Yeah, it is not our place at this point to say whether the person has a certain GP or grade level or their determination. No, that's not our place right now. We want to identify orphanages, institutions that are already helping, non-profit institutions to help them.
Yeah, Liberian, there are people listening out to you now from PA and other places. The idea seems to be good, but we're going to hold our breath to see, to make sure it produces fruit. I'm not too quick to see people, but I give people the opportunity to have these conversations until they can end themselves or whatever the situation in terms of the outcome. So people that are listening to you now, I say, okay, there are people who are willing to make an intervention, to make an impact, make a difference, to give back to the country. I'm considering giving this, even though I might not be going there, but maybe I can make this donation. How can they go about to get that process done? Say they want to, okay, well, even though I'm not from Pennsylvania, but from what I'm hearing from these gentlemen, it's what they want to make an intervention to in someone's life, people's life in Liberia. I want to give 20 bucks, 10 bucks, 15 bucks, but they're out of PA and they want to make a donation. How can they do that?
Let's yes sir, we do have yes sir, we do have three forms of yes sir, method yes sir, financial transaction like a wire money to DMP. Like example, if you're on the show right now and you see you only yes I want to get $20, we do have like a Zelle, we do have like Cash App, we get Venmo, and we get yes sir, Apple Pay. So all these things they can yes transfer the money through all those things and it can come over, yeah.
Boy, you like everything down, all the pay, then you get everything, so nobody
Yeah.
can give nobody can give us tea, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So while we are doing that, maybe we can provide you with for now. I'll leave with the Cash App number and
It is
Yeah, okay. What's the number?
oh, let me get it for you. Just a minute.
Yeah, I mean, we can. It's up to them, and maybe call the
Okay.
leaders and have follow questions. They can expand on that. Yeah,
267
267
531
531
8203.
820. It's 203, right?
Yes.
And so, is that distinct? What's the name on it?
Well, this our financial secretary name will appear on this. Albert Johnson.
Albert Johnson. Okay. All right. We'll try to put it out in the interim just in case any Goodwill Liberia. And if they need further information, is the same number they can call just in case people want to know more about the information?
Yes, we can. I can provide my number, the chairman's number, President Emeritus number. We have a couple of numbers we can provide for you.
Okay, so yeah, if you don't mind, if there's something you're willing for people to share, that's just in case. But I can put a cash out or just in case people wants to, reach out, be here tonight at a later date. That's okay as well. So let me just put this. What I'm doing that here, someone talked to me here that inside the coronations of the first holiday almost on hand, all of that having that ball, man, you're gonna be a blast. Who doing the grand march, Mr. President? Are you?
I think we defer that to the President Emeritus, Mr. John K. Harris.
Okay. All right. Yeah, but give us the G's, they're going to entice people listening from PA, near PA, and other places. The name itself is captivating, is kind of like, it's just close to the whole deal of distinguished gentlemen. Yeah, so no Bapler going to be there. So real time guy is going to be there. Tell us more about this whole boy here to get somebody to kind of like say, hey, I need to go hang out in PA this evening. My man from Minnesota, there he wants someone to hang this weekend. So trust me, don't be surprised to see him.
Go ahead.
Oh yes. So the boards on Saturday, we are charging a minimum fee of $25. That $25 gets you in. You're gonna have free food. I mean, everything else in there will be free. I mean, the food and drinks. That's all will be free. Food and drinks. You have we have invited all our sisters organizations, so they will be there in number, and we invited many other organizations. So this will not be just men. It will be. We went an extra miles to invite enough ladies organizations to back us up. In fact, our guest speaker is going to be our guest speaker is a female because we wanted to blend it out.
Wow.
Try to be diversified.
What a good strategy.
And to add on what Mr. Foto just said is that I guarantee the people that either tri-state, which is yes it Delaware, yes it PA, New Jersey. I guarantee those people, even people that coming from other state, I guarantee that this is something that they will really enjoy because the ball is no joke. It's it will be one of the best red carpet ever that happen in PA. So I urge people to come out, to come have fun with us, and to can enjoy real good life with us.
Okay, so folks, that's the number right there. If you are touched by the conversation by this gentleman, in good faith, you can send a contribution. You don't have to go dance. You don't have to go there. People gave. You can give and see. Sometimes it's good to give because when you give, if they're not produced, if they can't do anything, then you don't hold back when you're talking. That's how I let do my stuff. So when people come, we get the other organization, the humanitarian from Nelson Mandela Academy, blah, blah, blah. I give my father because when I give it now, then I post something you throw. When you don't do one real account, then I know I'm not going to be holding back. So the number is there. That's a cash app. Is that the same number for Zelle as well and Venmo?
Yes, for Zelle.
Okay. So this number is 7 times multiple tasks. So trust me, once you get it, they will acknowledge it. It's 267-531-8203. Let's take a quick break here, and we will be right back while you get a glass of water to drink. We'll be right back. I'm Alfonso Z and Soul of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV.
Do you want to share your events with the world? Why not contact us? We are Liberia Public Radio, LPR. We are the specialists in advertisements, commercials, radio and TV services. We have the professionals that can help you sell your products and provide live coverage of all events such as weddings, conventions, graduations, reunions, anniversaries, sports, birthdays, baby showers, religious activities, funerals, and many more. Take your phone right now and call any of the following numbers: 682-433-8802, 267-648-6089, 484-786-3337, or 916-533-2048. Our customer service representatives are waiting to take your calls and give you the needed assistance. It is LPR, the home of excellent media services and your friends in business. Hello listeners, this is Mazola, the lover boy. I'd like to invite you to this exciting program. It is called Dancing for Jesus. It is intended to play beautiful inspirational music to help you turn your life to God. Join me on every Sunday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is our way of showing appreciation to God for the good things He has done for us and continue to do. Don't miss this opportunity. Join Mazola Gizi on every Sunday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the program Dancing for Jesus. Please be there because I will be here to rock it up for you.
All right, there you have it. That's the Lover Boy program. Well, talking about community initiative, the Ocean State lights up this weekend in the 6th birth carnival of Mr. Jefferson Gray. This event is expected to unleash right on Capitol Hill, the 70th Jefferson Street here in the Ocean State of Rhode Island. And of course, your own LPR Alfonso so will be there to bring you those fascinating carnival. It's going to be a blast. Some boy that Jefferson Great will be observing his 60th birth anniversary carnival party. Oh man, you're going to be what a great weekend from PA to RR right here. Well, I'm Alfonso Z and so of the Liberal Public Radio LPR-TV. Let's go right back to our guests in our last and final segment. And the analysts want to be coming on to talk inside what is going on in Liberia. So let me just bring in my guys. The president is here and his guest, President Mr. Foley. Good to have you here. Okay, so this seems to be, everybody seems to be in a high spirit for this weekend. Today, Friday? Is that tomorrow or when? No.
Saturday.
Oh,
Saturday, December 7th.
Oh, okay. I thought that tomorrow, so I'll start taking my roadmap.
Come to Philly. Come to Philly. We are showing you tonight that when you come, it will be a night of fun. It's not going to be one of the programs where people just talk.
One of these sort of program, Liberians, boring people, endless speeches, and all of those kind of things. Look, the year is coming to a conclusion, and people are looking places to chill. And by the name, because while we're on break here, we're getting a text message here. Oh, gentlemen, so who knows? People are going to come there, man. You never know. Somebody going to find a blessing. Somebody might find a blessing from the gentleman event. So ladies are coming out there.
Absolutely. We can. I don't know if you have the flyer or the promo we have. We want.
If you can, I don't know. I don't know, for some reason, even the flyer requested, I didn't get some of the things, but we can still. Their program tomorrow, Friday, we can still continue to give some promotional, airtime while the main event is on Saturday. You have my number, you can even send it as well.
Yes, I think I have your number when I last appeared on your show for the Gongo.
Yes, I can remember. Yeah, my number still I don't see the change number. My number still the same. So you can
you should try that because for my end it's not going through to him. I don't know why.
WhatsApp? Do you sound
No. Regular text.
Well, I think WhatsApp, maybe the content may be large. So if you try WhatsApp.
Okay, I'll have to do then this for trying to do all kinds of things so I disable it, but I can.
Oh, okay.
Is that a video you want to send or what?
We do have video, we do have just regular flyers.
Okay, you can send me the flyer and I'll put my WhatsApp on later. You can send that as well, and I will just download it and then we can roll it out tomorrow, Friday, whatever it is. We can do that as well. That's not a problem.
All right.
Yes, we can do that certainly. Okay, so well. Any special guest artists, for example, to grace the occasion or what?
Unfortunately, we did not get any guest artists. But we got the best DJ in Philly, and we can show you Mr. Albert Dawson is going to lock that place down.
Oh, okay. Philly now it's a party land too, so I trust you. I'm quite sure it's going to be a huge night there as well.
Yeah, and it's not going to be one of the boring programs where people just get up and give speeches. No, we're going to have a time limit, and after that, we set banquet, so people are going to actually have fun. So we want people to interact, to mingle. Distinguished men. We invited a lot of our sister organizations, so they're coming. We want people to have fun. We don't want it to be a boring event where people are just talking. No.
Yeah, I mean that's so sickening in the Liberian community, man. You go there. People bring money, they're not told they didn't want to give it. So I know how you're gonna do it. Everybody got
we'll give them time to talk, but at least maybe it'll be like a minimal time. Yeah, it's not something for them to go all through or no. It'll be the minimum time.
Not more than 2 minutes, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a special app just in case I need to have a DJ program. As soon as they start doing it, you will talk the post microphone go or they talk to that side from that quick.
That's true.
So many way of killing Kia, you know, you don't got to you're putting the bed, just shove the head, pull the water over it, and that's it.
That's
I mean,
true.
yeah, honestly, I mean, you know, I think it's a very good thing. You know, as long as everybody in moving, seeing the call and sort of consensus, building, doing everything in common, that would be good. I mean, that's another way of bringing people together, you know. So I think it's a great idea. But I'm waiting to see the fruit it shall bear, and then we'll know how successful is the organization. But we want it to be successful. I talk to people that are listening. I know our last and final segment with the analysts want to be coming on right on top of the hour here. Maybe there are some things that we have not touched on. You wish to speak about be it about the organization, the backdrop of it, anything for that matter that you think is relevant to the audience you want to talk about. Any of you?
You want to come in? So, okay. Okay. So, the distinguished man, this distinguished man came from the background where men of our ages, we can't be going out to parties and stuff like that, other than maybe supporting one another. So we decided to come together to form this organization where men of like minds can meet and support one another in good and bad times. So for example, we decided if someone's birthday coming up, everyone else put $25 in the envelope, gave it to you. You can do it whatever you want to do with it. But if you are having something, we bring drinks, we hang out with you, celebrate with you. In bad times, we provide support, and at the same time, also give back to the community. So because America, yeah, we have there's so many opportunities here for us that live in this country, but our people back home don't have the opportunities. So right now, what we want to do is we want to give back. So pretty much every year we will have some sort of program where we can generate funds to help. I always say the needed back home, even though we say that everyone in Liberia needs something, but we are looking at we will be identifying institutions that are providing free services like charity organizations. Those are the institutions that we will be channeling our support through, and we will also give back to our community here in the U.S. In terms of volunteering, providing other support to our community here in Pennsylvania. And to address one of the questions you asked, currently we have some members living in Jersey. They do come down for meeting, so it's not only restricted to men in Pennsylvania. It's your ability to participate in the functions of the distinguished men. So if, for example, you live in Rhode Island and you are commuting to come to the distinguished men activities, programs, and meetings, you can certainly be a member, because we have a minimum, like in 4 months, you should be able to attend at least a minimum of one meeting in 4 months.
Yeah, okay, then that's fine.
Yeah.
So, bro, why you want to leave me off of that?
You are welcome to join. You are welcome to join. We gave you within 4 months. You just required to attend one meeting. That's the requirement.
No, I'm not leaving.
And besides, I can be some, man, we're in a digital world, virtual meeting and all of that, you know?
Yeah, we do that as well. We do have some virtual meetings.
We'll do virtual meeting, but ready done, and it's very rare for to do a virtual meeting unless maybe we have an emergency or something that we got to take it to ASCP, maybe some death in the family or if somebody have wedding or so, you know. But it's very rare for to do the virtual meeting. So that's what we're talking about. People, if you in Raw, you know, what the time you have to drive down here, you know, yeah. Just for meeting, you know, that's what we're trying to say. You know, it's kind of restricted in a sense, but it's not restricted, you know, because I know you don't want to waste your gas to drive from all the way around and to come for meeting. You know?
But apart from that, so apart from that, when you get to Philly on the weekend for a meeting, There are other activities here that
I know.
you can also attend.
No, I
And
think
our meetings are not boring. Our meetings are designed for us to have fun as well. So the host is required to have just pepper soup. That's the minimum, pepper soup. And we bring the drinks, and we also give the host $100. So we bring drinks and we give the host $100. So we have food and drinks, and we do have fun. And after that, whatever activities we have to go to, we all go to the activities. Sometimes we just hang out at meetings and have fun, watch football games or basketball games and stuff like that. But it's more of just bringing men together, men of like minds together.
right. And I think that's it's not really to wasting time. Everything is about sacrifice too, and I think
Yeah.
the relationship that's very vital into the whole thing. I know the distance is far, but if the organization there's a vision, and I hope to do well, it doesn't matter. People can be as far as Alaska. They will just come. We just have people kind of sick and tired with these different groupings that are not producing any result. That's the only thing. But other than that, hey, it's open. Yeah, you want to ask something there, Mr. Brown?
Oh, the only thing I think the president said everything. The only thing is that, and yeah, urging people to come out. On Saturday for our program, and it won't be the waste. They will enjoy it, the program. They will see a lot of people that will interact with good people. Because this program is not like it's a formal wear, red carpet. A lot of dignitaries, a lot of stakeholders will be in there. So I'm urging people to come out and to support our program.
Okay, urging people to come out to support the program. That's good. All right. What I know we have said much. You have a number, Mr. President. Just send the information, and the few days we still have, we will give those sort of promotional conversation to them, and we will keep talking about it. And don't wait for we like rental. We like to manage crisis, and we are not good at managing crisis. So don't wait until there's an event, 2 3 days, 1 week.
Yeah.
That's why we have our guy there, our board, and who knows? I mean, you can advertise, you can sell your organization, and that's how things progress as well. So we're always here to, once people reach out to us, and even wants to know about things, we always reach out. We don't necessarily wait until people get to us. So always let us know things you want to do, even in Liberia, for example. And I know doing things back home is a challenge in the sense that you want to make sure that the rightful thing is done. So when you're doing something back home, you let us know. We get a team back home. They will go there. You want to
Okay.
get a footage of what is being done, so that you as a leader can be properly accountable to the members to say, hey, you don't want to have a fancy nester. You just give it and you don't know how it's going, and assuming that people are going to do it. No, you don't want to do that. So we are always here anywhere, anything you want us to do, just let us know, and we can have that conversation. Man, Brown, there, it's just a matter of everything that digital now. By the time you tap NSPQ there, by the time you go to a PR, LPR, and then we all go to.
Yeah.
So true. Yeah.
We really appreciate your patronage to us. And definitely, Manzola is in her spirit. You're going to be there, and we're going to be watching the footage coming from my distinguished gentleman coronations. I wish I never had an event to officiate here too. Trust me. Every morning you're going to see me, Mr. Brown. You're going to see me to your door.
Oh yes. I will definitely host you.
I'm going to declare my member right there. Are there already? You will say no. Anything I say, I have the first meeting. That's it.
Yeah, I'll definitely host you.
You are always welcome. And just to add up, like we said, the program is not going to be boring because we are men. We invite a lot of ladies organization. We are going to have the Rich Girls Club there. We are going to have Women of Substance. We are going to have the Dagonty Sisters. We are going to have Women of Empowerment. We are going to have United Sisters. We are going to have the Glimmer Girls. We have
the Brotherly Love Social Club.
Yeah, the We Too movement, postcard, Unibois,
LP.
Pennsylvania. So we are going to have a lot of organizations there, and so we made sure we invited a lot of ladies organizations and as well as our female friends to blend it out. We don't want just a bunch of men in the hall.
What a good strategy to make the occasion a grand one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, what a good conversation. Yeah, don't hesitate to let us know no matter how it go. But from all indication, I think it's going to be a colorful one. PA, as long as organized, is advertised. Send other flyer out. Send some of those information. We'll make those tweet for you guys and give it best promotional course, and so that it goes well. But at the end of the day, after, we hope to see you guys here. Don't wait until next year, Bob, before you can. Then
No,
we won't. Thank you.
We'll be in touch. We'll be in touch.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the work you do for the community. We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, well, folks, that does it this evening. I'm Alfonso Z, and so we are about to enter the second segment, and the analyst, the link is out there, is All Things Considered. Welcome to the show. Okay, I am Alfonso Zia Salt of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. To our many viewers who want to welcome you. If this is the first time, we say you are wholeheartedly welcome. You are on the official news outlet of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV, right here to broadcast in this beautiful Wednesday evening, All Things Considered, from the New England Bureau Decks. Very shortly, the analysts will be joining me in cross-country as usual to have national conversation too much at the same time, simultaneously in Liberia, different forms of interpretations, self-interpretations, and those that are there protecting their own alligators as well. So we will be having these conversations. Gentlemen, the link is out there. So if you want, this is a guy, he can't get tired. I don't know what else to do to this guy. So, Mr. Boashent, the link is out there. The Liberal Progressive, Terry, all of you guys, the link is out. Let's take this break here, and I will be right back here.
Hello, listeners. This is Mazola, the lover boy. I'd like to invite you to this exciting program. It is called Dancing for Jesus. It is intended to play beautiful, inspirational music to help you turn your life to God. Join me on every Sunday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is our way of showing appreciation to God for the good things He has done for us and continue to do. Don't miss this opportunity. Join Mazola Gizi on every Sunday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the program Dancing for Jesus. Please be there because I will be here to rock it up for you.
It's time to shift the gear of politics. What is happening inside Liberia? Who is in charge? Oh, the first branch of government. We are hearing, hopefully, the decision will be coming down to the wire. Moses, the link is also out there, Jared Washington. Let me bring in the Minnesota politicians is joining us here. Supporter of Stiawan Gonglo, but now is lending support to the president, Jose Numa Boykai. So he's here. We're going to be having a conversation here. This is All Things Considered. Let me bring in Cecit Goya. Is here. Ziki, Zach, DJ. You taking DJ Blue position?
Me and DJ Blue, we're playing together now. I can be in the back mixing it. You know, rewind the cassette. I know buying the day. Rewind the cassette on the BRC pen.
You guys stay to the hotel?
Yeah, but I don't want to be rewind. I don't want to be rewinding the cassette on the BRC pen.
Or you can be scripting out. Well, that's sort of funny sound. You.
Well, and you remember the tape player, the cassette when supposed to put the BRC pen, be rewinding it.
Yeah. Wow. But the thing about divine, you got your own because you went late. I don't know whether they gave you your own.
No, the people meet me, and then you forgot to add a announce or put inside Joseph and who own the land, and who in the land dispute now at Joseph. So the me and Joseph want to say something.
Oh, you gone back to Lofa County now?
No. Here, the who better for the who own the land. So in all the dispute, because I gotta be in all the dispute or in the handshake dispute, I gotta do all the flower. So in all the flower with Joseph.
Any tribunal they set up in that country there, you will be called in to testify. Okay, man. So this is the program, All Things Considered, and of course, as usual, we have this conversation. Sometimes it goes ziki-zaka. That is okay, but we'll be civil into the conversations. We can agree, disagree. Sometimes will be viewed as anger, but when you feel that your country is so hurt and it's mismanaged by people that people projected to have been the right people to manage the country, if that is not happening, then of course you want to pull all your hair string and sometimes you shout and your voice go over the roof.
Manage your expectation before you get high blood pressure. Manage your expectation.
Okay. Oh yeah, this is what.
That was the healthcare directive from the rescue mission. Manage your expectation before you have blood pressure.
The forecast, they knew this thing was gonna go this way.
So people told you we get enough blood pressure medication at JFK. Manage your expectation.
So it looks like Amara Kone knew exactly down the road we were going to come to this place here. Ketos, check the link having issue. Check your link unless you would. I can send it back again. So okay, what I'm doing now, Mr. Goya, let's hear what is in your folder this evening here. Too much going on here. So let's see what is in your folder. What do you have in your folder?
The bro story like poor pastor story. It can't end with a giving being a whole day. So the bro story can't finish. Yeah, a poor pastor story. It can't end. So for me, I'm tired talking about the majority, minority, who get budget, who not get budget, who still budget, who is still budget. Prince Johnson Proud and I can wish the children can say anything do of now I ain't even finish handshake been join sir. We'll finish forget them, but all the other things we join handshake been then CDC chat room stuff leak. Then we jump behind all our then some tips running around again. I say that Prince Johnson was not happy. So people cutting that one, they playing it. Then Joe we are on the tape where they're playing that he thought Kun was supposed to go give him a hug and this thing. And then my man, they're creating their own word. It has been addressed there. It's just the bro probably can't finish. Like I said, it's too long. Just a broke pastor story. So me, anything I can do with discuss it because it's sad, it's serious, it's funny, it's everything. It's Liberia.
What is responsible for all these sort of mix combinations, these sort of distractions? Who's to be blamed?
I think it's been ingrained in our bodies. Like living things, you have to be adaptable, right? That is how humans have managed to live on this earth for a long time. And so I think for good or for bad, in order to be able to live in the ecosystem that we've created for ourselves that we call Liberia, We have to make fun of things that are not even funny. We have to find a way to be comical. It's almost like how the Jewish people survive on comedy, right? That's why, because of their hard times, they had to find a way to be funny to forget their problems. I think it's the same thing we have. Like, it's very difficult for us to take things seriously. And when it gets very, very serious, because we're afraid too much of tension, we pretend like we let tension, but we're not. We're afraid so much of tension. So when it gets very, very serious, we just give up and say we leave it with God. And so it's just too many living it with God and making fun of a lot of things that sometimes aren't funny, but that's our escape. I think that's where we are right now. That's what got us in this problem where we don't take things that are supposed to be serious very seriously. And when it becomes very serious, people become uneasy. And so because we Liberians, we are not really used to keeping people uneasy. We are not that kind of people. So we just say, and we just leave it alone and move on. So we abandon without a solution, without a resolution. And we just move.
Is it God the problem, or we ourselves our own problem? We create our problem and we expect the kingdom to come upon us to solve it. I think that is unfair to God, because God didn't. We are the creations of our own issues and our own problems. We went for it. We accepted it. We embrace it. And then we say it's God. I think that's been unfair. I don't know. Maybe there's a pastor can come here and disabuse what I'm saying here, because God, He in His own divine, gave us the wisdom to make good choices and say, hey, you can pick this, you can pick this, but allow us to have our will to get things done. So part of that is to make us to gain that liberty as a being under His own creation. So does that mean He allows us to move in those sort of directions? So why are we always shifting those blame to God and we expect magic to unfold?
I don't want to make people angry over their religion and their beliefs. That's why I walk very tightly on that. But that whole thing, God giving me free will, but He already know exactly what I would do from the time I was in my mother's womb. You knew what I was going to do. So is there really free will? If it's already predestined, you know what I was going to do. You're not playing 50-50 with me. You already knew what I was going to do, right? You knew Adam was going to eat that apple or that fruit, and you put it in, because you already predestined and you know what's going to happen. So for me, I don't like to do that. But I think in the Liberian society, in the Liberian context, the Europeans or whoever brought this Eurocentric religion, where all the people who reside in heaven have European names like Michael and Gabriel, and there's not a Gilboa or Tele as an angel over there. I think we misunderstood and we got given a half-baked portion. So what we do is we blame everything on God without really understanding what's God's will for us. And so instead of resolving things, we say we really are on God. A person trusted with state resources will steal from you, and then they will build mansions, and you say, leave my own with God. Right, and that person will drive and go and build an orphanage. Like, for example, people who murder people building orphanages. You kill people's parents and then you put them in orphanages and we say, well, they are own with God. So I think it's the misunderstanding of the God complex that got us where we at,
Okay, Mr. Ketter going to be joining us by phone, your phone here. Hey, what did Lama Jew say? She has said tired with this whole thing here now too. Hey, Mr. Ketter, good evening.
Good evening, brother So, and to my own brother, sister. Good evening to you guys.
Okay. How you sounding too? Are you moving the direction of sister this evening? You tired now with all the tabata?
Oh no, I mean, what sister was just, what sister just put out there is exactly what I've been, talking a long time ago about our society. And, we have been indoctrinated to just accepting certain things that we don't even verify. We program it. For me, the better word would be we have been programmed. So we turn to agree, with things that sometimes are not even real. We in denial of it. We don't even look. It's for me. It's when I look at my society, our Liberian society, what he said, the Eurocentric type of idea where these people think that God just created a race that all the other race will follow. To the extent even if having a heavenly host to carry under that race name. So if somebody from way in Kruta or in the Kru village or in the Pele village or Lama village that carry Yapawulo, Zeze, then it what that mean in that part of God's creation. And so this is how Liberia is. The people put in a frame of mind that they can tell us anything and we buy into it to the extent where we even see them doing wrong. We can't even chastise them. We can't tell them the truth. We just say, yes, like you said, we worship our own devil. We even able to undress our own devil because we say we put clothes on our devil. So when the devil eating our children, then we say that because we put clothes on the devil, we can't undress the devil. What Mr. Toh said the last time on the show. And it's so unfortunate as society that even we got educated people, came abroad, educated themselves abroad, they still have that mentality. And this is wrong. And to see our society change, it will be difficult.
Okay, I know, sister, you say you're tired. I'm not going to get tired because if we try to do that, it would be very unjust to the very public and our people that are also. This is a team where count on us to have this conversation. So I think let's take a look at the capital here this evening. This the divided house here, but it's more or less convoluted here, and I think we'll have a self-indictment here on the national government, and that is to say, their decision to talk. When I was saying they don't want to interfere, but we saw lately the budget going in two places at the same time. This puts the Supreme Court at a crossroad as well, and we are anticipating. We don't know what the decision is going to be. But if, and of course, it's been reported, the executive have not denied that. We saw one of the other budget went to a group from the hotel, which I still disagree with them as renegade people because they were elected. Anything at the end of the day should be done in chambers. I didn't see the provision that they can just go and remove anybody, get discussed, and then ceremoniously and come in. Somebody put their left hand up, hurry, because they don't want to be caught and do that. Why would the executive kind of literally do what they did? They didn't do it simultaneously. One went after a time, Yobo, he left, went to Freetown Salon to go meet up his friends or whatever it is, came back, and then we're hearing other budget now going to Kofa. We don't know what the decision going to be with the Supreme Court. But why, in your mind, why will the executive go that route, you think?
So, just because you talk about the other people and I got to make fun of them because I'm a Liberian, that's the way I self-suit. So the minister on camp here, I told when we used to play football, you go on camp that one game move from there. The minister capital already they game when they were finished the game and for to go back home.
I hear say that some of the US that I said are not correct ones, so they get
a minute cut off.
I probably that dog eat dog country. Oh, my last name. Let's get it. Let me
when you finish voting, you go try to use that mouth.
Oh, they said the thing they gave it. They can't get away from that.
They get a minute cut that.
Yeah, but on a serious, on a serious note. I think Mr. Collins, good evening, welcome.
Yeah, man. See him, brother, sister, and
man, I enjoyed it so much the other day. I'm watching it. I see them my phone. They started watching me now. Say, okay.
Yeah, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, I went to get it. Man, hard time. I was pushing the Bible. Go get small hard time. Then I started enjoying it, pushing and then I stopped typing. I just started sleeping. But on a serious note,
I don't believe in your politics with yourself because.
Oh no, mama, you can't go that out. You can't all the government. You can't go like that. So
you're rescue you. You're gonna rescue you. Don't
you're not going like that.
But we'll give it to government.
a solo a piece solo. You're not going around. We're still in this all together. But on a serious note, Mr. So, I think the president, again, I first have to find out if the budget I went to Fonati, did that come directly from the executive, or did they use the same Huawei, go to the clerk, and is this the same clerk that is now sending? Because the whole thing is unclear. First, we heard it got withdrawn. I don't know how you withdraw a budget when you already have the physical copy. It got withdrawn and then give it somewhere else. So for me, I want to find out the route that it took to get a Fonati. Because here what would be two things. If it went directly from the office of the president, the chief of staff, whatever the presidential office, directly to Fonati, then I have a question. Why did the first one not follow that same route? Did the president get two different opinions from his advisors, his legal advisors? Was there at one point a preponderance of argument in favor of giving to the clerk and let us be neutral? And now things are shifted to say, oh, let's go directly to the speaker? Because then I would like to know, because sometimes you have this argument, and that's what it's supposed to be when you have a group of advisors, they're supposed to argue, but they're not supposed to argue and come back and argue against their own position later on. That makes you look kind of flip-floppy as a president. So I don't want to pass the judgment until I can find out what happened, because cases, it might be that it just went back, seeing it through the same way, and that same person gave it to Fonati that had given it to the other group. Having said that, I think the government, the executive rush in sending out the budget. I think they knew ahead of time that this thing was going to end up at the Supreme Court. I think they should have delayed and played until the Supreme Court ruled, and then they would have just followed the ruling of the Supreme Court to be on the side of the law. But as it is right now, they've already played both sides. So if the Supreme Court rules against the folks that are still on camp, you can't withdraw the budget. They got a budget. You give it to them. How you withdrawing that? I can't understand. And if the Supreme Court rules against Fonati, you already now recently is in Fonati hands. So how do you withdraw it, right? So I think they rush it. I think that was a bad judgment to rush it. But I do think that the best decision would have been to send it to the clerk, like they did. Now I don't know if they play politics behind the scene and force the hand of the chief clerk or the deputy chief clerk, whoever give that to Speaker Cohen and his group. If they play politics behind the scene with that would be bad. But I think that was a real move to make. You send it to the office of the clerk, and the clerk gives it to the speaker.
Yeah, so it looked like there was a complete political calculations on the part of GOL to do what they do, because ultimately at the end of the day, they say the old man something, but the old man too, he can play his checker, his chess and everything, or he can play it. But anyway, for us, you know what, it's already there. Because at the end of the day, there are few people that have to sign that budget in order to become a budget. And one of those is the speaker. Because when the speaker's signature is not on that budget, the Senate cannot act on it. So the question here, and I'll bring in Keto, and then Terry will come in. Why in the first place, if they were arguing, the executive were arguing and pretended that they never wanted to interfere with another branch of government? I don't know where that came from. That was the argument. We found out that that argument was made by Councilor, the majority bloc argument. What his name? Shemo. What the old man name? Former Grand Mount Senator. Shamo, right?
Yeah, the tell you money from here, you could have been the next day. Yeah.
Yeah. And you say it was political. So I'm confused. Where is he coming from? Of course, it obvious to be political. Those people, they occupy political offices, and the political issues is also tied with all of these issues. So there's no need for he to say it was political. But let me come to you, Keto. Keto, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
So the action by GOL on this, I would say it was calculated, it was deliberate on the part of GOL to our first and foremost. And I think Terry argued that of initially, square completely. That of course, no matter how the president hangs out with the speaker, The president needs someone from his column to be the speaker in order to get his agenda pushed. Bottom line, period. But let me just come to you. Now we now know that this budget here is in two hands, two of the factions that are involved, the minority, the majority is there. So when the decision hands down, now the president is in a comfortable position and say, well, they both have it, so let them go ahead with it. Do you think that was a strategic move by the president or the government?
Mr. When I was looking at the budget, the person that saw the budget and the hard copy of the budget in the hand, looking at it, I don't know if the 73 lawmakers, the executive make copies and just send it to the entire House, 73 of them, or they make one copy and send it to the clerk, and the clerk give it to the speaker, and the speaker make copy. I don't know how it work with it, but I saw you get called about a copy with a whole booklet with a Liberian flag with all the different stuff on it. It tells me that it was prepared probably by the executive and executive senator or 73 of them. And they just, when this whole saga came and they put a still order on, or people started to intervene, and then so they decided to send to everybody over there. I don't know how it got, whether the executive decided to just send it to these people and later on take it from them, because you can't send this copy to the clerk. If that one copy to the clerk, how all of the other guys ain't got copy of it. They didn't make photocopy, or how they did it. I don't understand how they did that. But either way, I think, like Sister said, the executive brushed this whole thing. I think the executive should have followed the legal process to send this thing directly to the speaker, even though he has no quorum, and let it pursue the legality of the whole thing. And once the chief fall on Kufasa, they go back and conduct the Liberian people business. The chief fall on the side of the majority group, Kufa recuse himself and do the Liberian people business. But from the get-go, I saw the executive playing a game. When some of the officials of the executive start to go and honor the request of honor the demand of request of the minority group by coming to attend their call in the presence of Mo Ali and another person. I went down, and that's where I saw the executive playing double standard. I think the executive were trying to validate the minority group, and that alone was a bad precedent itself. Now it's gonna be troublesome.
Okay.
What we are hearing, if the Supreme Court rules in favor of Fanati Kofa, people within the majority group will not listen to the Supreme Court ruling. But this the catch. We have seen people start to deflect. People start to move away from the majority group and go to the minority or become independent. And if that group number shrink below the number they have, what's going to happen now?
Okay,
what's going to happen?
What's going to happen? Let's bring in Terry to tell us what's going to happen. Mr. Collins, good evening. Welcome again.
So, real quick before Terry come in, what's his name? Wilton. Representative, what's his name? Fode Fambule from the majority group said that the executives submitted the draft budget to them, and their Speaker Kuhn was the one that instructed the Ways and Means folks to distribute to all of the 72 senators. And then, but from the Kofa group also is saying that, according to Yege Koluba, that it was Kofa who recommended that when they receive it, that they make copies and share it to the 72. So I think it was only one copy that went to out of one of those places, but the two groups are arguing. One of them is saying it's Speaker Kuhn that made the other group to get it, that distributed it, and the other group is saying was Fonatif that distributed it to the majority bloc.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for the clarity.
These are editing. Okay, Terry, this is all things considered. If you want to speak to it, that is okay, but too much is unfolding. At the same time, this is where GOL needs to come in to clarify on some of these things. People might think it's not important, but there's a complete divide that we see that is happening and is breeding. Nothing much is being done. So let's hear you. We are all on edge. Everybody's on edge to see what's going to come out from the higher court of the land with respect to what is happening in the first branch of government. What say you?
Yeah, man. I think a lot of things is happening, and I showed light on this same discussion yesterday. There was a conflicting information that came from Fonati Kofa Black, the minority black, stating that the budget is in their control, and they were sharing it with people, among them the lawmakers. And then there was another rebuttal that came from the Kun people who says the budget was hijacked and were laughing about it and all of that. But like what Cece read, that is what I also reading here in the news, that the chairperson for the majority black in-person or for the family stated that Kun authorized that the budget be distributed. And the government position, what he named the information minister, said the budget was never resubmitted. The budget was submitted on the 18th to the deputy chief clerk. And I don't understand what Keta say the budget issue are being submitted in the right procedure. The right procedure is to deliver the budget to the deputy, to the chief clerk office, which the president did. The traditional procedure is to deliver the budget to the speaker. That is the traditional procedure. But it is also not wrong, because that is the right procedure to deliver the budget to the chief clerk office, because that's where the budget goes before it goes to the speaker. So because of the crisis, I believe it was carefully, meticulously done, so that knowing very well the chief clerk is not in town, so the budget can drop to the deputy speaker and go to the majority black, which we said on this platform here and be discussing, that suggests that was the plan. But looking at it, the president did what they feel they could do based upon the crisis going on in the House. But we fought to see what the Supreme Court, the only thing I'm thinking about is that why is the Supreme Court delaying? Because every step of delay is backwardness to the country. Every delay, you call for the people to come on Tuesday. After Tuesday now, there was an opinion on everything. You're taking more than a week to bring down ruling. And even now, the status quo antique, the people are not following it. Because by right, the status quo antique, if what the court says, if what the court means, it means that they should go back maybe on Fonati Kofa or so. I don't know what is the status quo antique, but they are not going to session at all. They're not even going to session. So that means they are not even maybe abiding by the status quo ante. They don't have to be having session, but the status quo ante is supposed to carry them to a position that where they begin from. So I don't know which. So because of Supreme Court not clarifying what it means by status quo ante, I don't think they will be able to even say the people breaking the law or what they're doing or they didn't follow. I don't even know, because he didn't clarify what is status quo ante. But if status quo ante meant for you to go back on a Fonati Kofa, then the majority black is not even following the status quo ante stay order. So I really don't know why the Supreme Court is delaying this thing. But I think that the more they delay it, the more they put the Liberian people in that kind of anxiety, and the more chaos will come.
So is it fair then to say, because based on your question, why, let me just sound in a little bit later, is the actions of SC, that's the Supreme Court, is their action political, calculated? Is it like a wait and see attitude, weighing the pros and cons to see what the reaction of the people going to be like? Is that the sort of a revolution that is ongoing? Because they listen to both sides, and I do believe they were able to listen to both. That was their argument. And based on their argument, they are in charge to interpret the law. And I quite believe that is a provision. They're supposed to be looking at the legal aspect of this here. Whether there was any violation, someone infringed on someone's constitutions, regardless about what the rule says, but was the rule does not supersede the laws of the land, whatever internal rules that they have. Now, where are they struggling with in that they can't tell us up to this time here? Is someone somewhere playing politics with this whole thing? How far away here? Yeah, we are in the middle of this. The senator passed away, and everything now this sort of way, people moving here and there, which of course, yes, they have to sympathize. But why is the Supreme Court? What is the hold up? Who holding it?
That's my confusion.
Do you know any of the judges?
To me, it's very easy, right? You are arguing on Article 33. Whether if Article 33 were violated, because the Supreme Court can only rule against another branch of government if the Constitution were violated. They can put a stay order on you and stop you from functioning because you violate the Constitution, which is the organic law of the state. So that is the check and balances that I know about. But so what is the hold up? Everything was discussed in the meeting. What is the hold up here? Because of what you have done now, people, you know what people saying? We hearing Yake Koluba saying that the managing director from the Freeport is now going to the judges now and giving them huge amount of money. Because you see, the problem is when you delay this thing now, you open corridor for people to start speculating that what you're saying, Mr. So, that you want money or you want to be induced to see which side you're going to lean on. So, you know, you got 5 judges. All these judges have lawyers under them. How long will it take you to make a decision?
Yeah. So
the both of you, I disagree with your positions. And my own cousin, Yeke Koluba, on the closing argument, I never opened, I closed, and I listened to them. I just told them that it was supposed to close that argument already. Because Yeke Koluba was there saying that somebody took $900,000. The man left his home at 4 o'clock. The man left his home at 4 o'clock, went to the port, stayed at the 7 and took $900,000 and took it to what's the hotel, Peracasa Hotel. So the person has cash $900,000. You lawmaker is sitting to your heart in Pinsville. The man wake up from that. You able to know that the man got $900,000 cash in his bed, right? And that's the kind of thing we're supposed to engage in and even give credibility to. The thing here is it is this iron curtain politics, the same style that was endorsed by the University of Liberia when our brothers and sisters calling themselves progressives came from studying all around the world. That what Samuel do just silent all of that at the end of the day because they couldn't agree on one thing, and they have this kind of nasty politics that if you lie so much, so your narrative becomes the truth. But look, in most developed countries and in very advanced countries, arguing before the Supreme Court is a lie. For the Supreme Court to make a decision, because you are arguing on constitutionality at the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has to be able to look at the intent of the law, not just the language of the law, but the people who crafted the law, what did they intend? And most times you're not calling the people and say, I can't tell me what you were thinking when you were writing this. You got to go back and look at other writings and see, yes, this is what they intended. Here was the intent and the spirit of the law. And so people in most cases don't rule sometimes even in a month. Because you had these arguments, and then the judges themselves will have different sides, and they'll have to argue their points. And because their law clerks have to write, they have to argue, sit with their law clerks, which are their lawyers. Each of these have a law clerk that will argue among themselves and give them a position. They form a position, and when you come, say all 5 people come with different positions. I agree with this other group on this side, but I disagree on this side. I agree on this side, but they all have to sit again and argue it and argue the constitutionality among themselves before even taking a vote. That's not something that happens in a week. In really serious society, that doesn't happen even in a month. Right now, there is an argument going on before the U.S. Supreme Court about gender affirming care in Tennessee. You know when we expect the Supreme Court to rule? In the summer. That's when that ruling is going to come out. So I don't think we should rush the Supreme Court. I think my cousin Yeke and the likes that keep the Supreme Court look really bad, that these people are taking money. And you see people come on and give a snap judgment right now. They'll be the same people that are saying the people didn't even think critically about it. They took the money. They already knew. The kids already decided for even when they. You see, by the time our lawyer then left, they already decided on it because they already had it. So for me, I really want to give them a chance to really think about this because this borders on a constitutional crisis for our democracy. How can we continue to do this? Is this the way forward, or is this the end of that thing that took Speaker Snow and Speaker Tyler out? Is this the end, or is this when it becomes a what they call it, a norm? Do we make it fashionable now that we can just get rid of our people anyway, anyhow, and 38 men can get out to Mamusu Kosha and they can just kick somebody out? We need to know that so we know how we function going forward. And so I really want to give them the time to do the work that they need to do.
I think that's a fair analysis in the sense that considering the past history of former speakers, the way they were removed, and some of them, the Supreme Court took a decision. What happens at the end of the day? I'm just hoping this time the Supreme Court will provide pure clarity for the ordinary Liberian out there with respect to their decisions, why they are taking the decision, because that will serve as a deterrent for a group of people just wake up in the morning, wash their face, get out and go say, yes, we have the number of minority. And I think this sort of they are lost. They have a lot of opening here. But let me bring in Keto here and go back to before going back to Terry here. Keto, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Do you think, considering the history of Tyler, Snow, all of that, the Supreme Court going to take a step back as well to do a complete, comprehensive revision, perhaps just to play in your mind the submissions of the budget when there was a stay order, they shouldn't do this, and they saw them going, and other people were most likely could also intervene. What I mean was there any sort of interference on the other side of the branch of government in terms of kind of like trying to persuade what is happening, so giving edge to the other people, someone being right is being violated here. So I think Cesar got this point right. I don't usually agree with him because they are some of the same progressive that brought a bone, no straw in the bone. Right now, he's seeking.
Ain't a problem.
So the question here, will the Supreme Court really come down to be explicit if they are taking decision for ordinary Liberians, not for politicians, not the Terry and Cesar them to come again to interpret what they say using words that people will not understand? And we got to go find a dictionary to bring the pastor and
concomitantly. We bring back concomitantly.
Concomitant being there already, so I don't even know if that concomitant yet want to work with the ECOMO and it got stuck on us here. But do you think the Supreme Court's trying to do their due diligence so that they can put this thing to a rest one for all? Because the people the people make the laws, but they are not the one to interpret the laws. It is in the purview of the court to interpret the law. So that's what they are doing. Are they on point with that, or you still feel that they are delayed?
So when you take into consideration the two previous cases that those speaker they were not removed, they resigned anyway. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of them. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of Snow and Tyler, but they, because of the political pressure from the executive, some hand play, and they had to resign. But in this case, so one of the things that Cesar said, considering the American Supreme Court into this case that they will rule probably next year. This is the urgency of, it's different from our case. We have urgency here. We're talking about the House of Representatives, we're talking about the political, stuff that goes on in the country as far as when they're going to pass budget, who got to do this, who got to do that. So it's a little bit different. And so the urgency is there. And when you look at legality, it's clear cut. The Supreme Court should come out clean and say, look, this is what you guys should do. Go and sit down and go on this person, and you're giving due process. And once you find guilty, come over your number and getting out. It's clear cut. This is no political thing for us to be running up and down here. But I think, Mr. So, to your question, I think the two previous cases were different, and the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the two former speakers, but they resigned under pressure. This man is saying, I don't care what to do, I'm not going to resign except they give me due process. And then where the Supreme Court has to interpret the due process and tell the people, look, gave him due process and let him go and resign because the Supreme Court will interpret the law. It's a precedent case. They gave the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the other guy because they wanted to keep them up. Did they give them due process? Well, some people say yes, some people say no, but the Supreme Court ruled in favor of them to go and do due process, and they resigned because of the pressure from among themselves or from the executive. I'm hoping that the Supreme Court come out with the ruling. As far as the other things that are playing, that people bringing in money and this, that, like Terry said, these things are clear cut. If you don't come out to be strict and definite on the issue, people will speculate. And when people start speculating, it fills the air, our political space, with the gullibility of our society. It makes the people, our country, a little ugly because everybody now listening to our wires as we speak, our numbers going up, people, even foreigners listening to us, they're telling us how corrupt our society is, they're bringing money. Right now, if an American man come and ask questions, he's not going to ask questions like, oh, is it true? He's going to conclude that, oh, the jury system taking bribe. Because Yeka Koluba said if somebody left from the office with $900,000 to take it to wherever he took it to, and then Spoon ran with it, our jury system is corrupt, and these are things that are not supposed to be in our political space. But again, when you got people who are conflicted, and you understand, you see the law, you know the law is red, call it for what it is. Let people go back and do the needful and do the laboratory job. I mean, the whole thing about politics, we're using we'll use political pressure. Political pressure also has law. The law has to prevail. Politics, you can't say you're not using the law in politics. If that's the case, we all can just come out and say, okay, we vote this man in, and the law said 50 plus 1. But that man had the highest vote, so he president. We gotta go 50 plus 1. That politics. We join the street, we demonstrate. The man got the first round, he won 700,000, he won the election. But the law has to prevail. And I think the Supreme Court should call it for what it is.
The law has to prevail.
I think, Mr. So,
yeah,
I don't disagree with Keter that there is an urgency. I do, however, want him to understand that the difference between this case and the other two cases was that now this other group has elected a speaker, because returning to status quo ante, like a Collins asked, does that mean that if status quo ante is to go back, but to go back how far? To go back from the beginning when Kun was still, when Kofa was still in the country, how things was, or when he was before the people took any action, or go back to after the talking out, but they didn't have a speaker, or because after they voted in a speaker was when Kofa went back to the Supreme Court to ask the full bench. So this makes that a little bit different because now there is also a speaker on the other side. And besides that, to say that the people ruled before and it should be easy, I think if the law was easy, we wouldn't have a Supreme Court bench. We'll have just one Supreme Court justice, because that one person can just say, it's done, it's done. That is the reason we got an odd number of people, so that it's not even. That was one of the reasons, because people will argue, people will have different understandings of what the law is. And sometimes one Supreme Court will have a ruling, another Supreme Court would think that ruling was not right, and they could reverse themselves. Roe v. Wade in America, a 50-year law was reversed by other Supreme Court justices who felt like it was not appropriate. So that's the reason you got 5 people. And it's not the same 5 people that ruled in the other 2 cases. They might have different understandings of how those rulings went, and they want to be able to have a proper ruling in their own mind this time.
Okay, Terry, let me ask you. We have reached a very what with the man phone? You get your phone now too?
The man used all his data on his own program the other day. All his data. Terry, I say he did that. Check your phone. I say he did that.
Now lose that data out and the second.
You don't want to check it. So, Collins, look, on a serious note yet, we have reached a very consequential time in this year. What are you looking up to from the GOL? Because no matter whatever the interpretation, people will still feel GOL hands is inside this whole thing here from the onset, the way it was managed, and at the end, how we saw things just switch around and nothing much is happening now. What do you think the GOL interests going to be ultimately?
Mr. So better go be a boy, then he's talking, you asking for the hay. God. The GOL, let me give you another part, but the GOL is in the cold water. You can't be afraid to you know. But what I'm saying, I want to give some information to Keto, right? Keto said Tyler was, the rule, Supreme Court rule in favor of Tyler. Let me show you on the 6th front page, on the 6th of October, 2016. It said the Supreme Court on Wednesday declined to issue an alternative writ of prohibition over the removal of House Speaker Alex Tyler by his colleagues, a step many Liberians view as politically motivated. And you know who are presiding? Senayo. Listen, it's a Tyler complaint that he was not given due process before his removal by his colleagues in the House of Representatives. Prior to Tyler's conference, another one was heard for Representative Adolph Lawrence, who petitioned the High Court for a full bench hearing into the prohibition conference of the Speaker election as he opened Justice CNN AGU presiding over the matter alone. According to Representative Lawrence, his request was made on ground that Justice Yo is the wife of Representative Snow, an ally of Representative Emmanuel Nukwe. You seen it? But if you read further up, there was an election also, and I think Emmanuel Nukwe won that election to become the second speaker. So this is a precedent case, and the similar is what is unfolding before us right now. So I just want to agree with Cece a little bit on the fact that because of precedent of the two cases, they might take a little bit, which is not bad, because they might also to reduce the tension in the country and looking at the distraction also, which is good. What helped them too is the distraction of Prince Johnson's death, So now everybody running behind Prince Johnson's death, the gossip and all of that. So the populace, the sentiment, that aggressive aroma that was in the air have reduced a little bit, So, but what I'm thinking is that to answer your question directly, the government cannot do anything right now because everybody have seen we started on. There is no way you can hire yourself. How you hire?
Tell us.
Let me tell you something. The funny thing was when the budgeting came out yesterday, and Yeke Koluba people then was sharing it all over. They say, "Oh yeah, Honorable Kofa get the budget." Immediately, the Ministry of Finance responded to tell you we saw their own. The Ministry of Finance responded that there was no resubmitted budget done. That they submitted the budget to reaffirm because they don't want the other people on the other side to feel disenchanted. So the government, there's no way you can hide this thing. More to that, Kun is a unity.
Can you tell us in the plain English? You see, this is what you guys try to do here. You try to be always politically correct and you say who we know. I don't know. You are within the Bearway. Tell her you are with the Bashins. Tell her if you guys are tampering with it or what.
Well, so it's left with the populace to make that decision. But from my view, if you want to get my view, the government have shown a lack. The government is lackadaisical towards a major crisis that I think they should have involved to show some level of transparency that they are not part of it. That is just how I want to say it.
My old lady way down to the borderline, and they don't have no dictionary, no current there. So that's how you confuse people's mind. Please break that wall down.
children are going to come in hard. We'll break it down for them.
But so last Dasika, it mean this, the careless towards the, last Dasika, you lazy, you weak, you careless towards the approach on the matter. So that alone shows that
So who careless
something
now?
somewhere.
Who careless now? Who is
The
careless now?
GOL, the GOL, but we saw the position, if that position is true, that Spoon were reporting, that the Justice Minister weighed in on the matter when he was asked his opinion, and he said, this matter have not violated the Constitution. So if we involve, it would be a breach. So there is so many ways that you can look at and say, or many people will say, well, the government is not involved politically. They want to be politically correct and not feel that they are playing double game. I mean, feel that they are propagandists for the government. But what I think here is that the government have shown no effort in trying to resolve the matter, which will give the populace to the view that the government has inside. I didn't say I would say that, but will make people to think that the government has inside. But one last thing before I go, one last thing is that have you seen the gossip trending online between the Rick Marot between Eugene Fagon and Martin Colley?
Eugene Fagon, I want to come to that. This is very, very, very sad. And
I wouldn't live to be here to discuss that, but anyway.
He will never come. This is the guy. When there's a heart-burning issue, he stays away. And we are traditional. We can't talk about old people. We can't do it. No, that's not it. Trust me, Eugene Fagon, he's gradually getting to his Waterloo. The same nonsense, the same things that he was doing with George Weah, he was being disrespectful. You think, people just think they are like an island and they are untouchable and all of that. I don't know who the other day he was responding to the former president. Are you the presidential spokesperson or the minister of information not to be defending the president? He's supposed to be thinking about how the rural communication networks should be functioning for people to those back traditional programs and all of that kind. Every other thing, anybody says anything, he has something to say because he thinks he's the only talking here for the government. That's the same thing he was doing with George Weah. He hear about that old man. He knew about the old man. He must ask him where he and fanatical for them when they went to Rome. Let me bring in
While they were praying, the man
while come by to the message stay, everything okay. He come by and he how he cover his face. He came and took the budget. He took it to the renegade system men there. The other men now say, I know what I true. I saw a post now that a senator position he won now or whatever now he returned to Columbus, he turned to MC or MC. Columbus, another guy is a mess. Yeah, so yeah, and he sent a budget, left and went to Sierra Leone, left the tension. Okay, let me bring in Elvis here. Elvis
on?
Yeah, Elvis. I see Elvis here. Elvis, are you there? Okay, I don't know where. Maybe you're going. Okay. Look, Keto. Yeah. 1 minute here. There's no way that when we bring Sassewu from all of the counties, Joseph Boyka will not go free. I don't know whether it is possible for the Ministry of Internal Affairs to administer Sassewu, who created this problem here. The old man will not go free. Let me hear you.
So along the way, on what Terry said concerning the GOL involvement in this whole saga, right? So Senator Prince Johnson, the late Senator Prince Johnson, hours before he died, he had a phone call, and that was not an interview. They had a phone chat with somebody. He called his son, but the guy's a journalist from maybe I think a journalist from no, I don't think a journalist, but he worked with news media from my TV era. He said he's been with Prince Johnson for a long time. He knows the whole family. Anyway, they had a chat, and Prince Johnson said, do you think an individual senator can keep people in a hotel, group of men in a hotel, 42 that are in a hotel for almost 2 months? You don't know who behind it? It's the executive. Exactly what he said. And there's an audio that they played with Prince Johnson's voice in it. It was that morning, 6 something, he and I had a conversation. And around 7 something, he fell and took him to the hospital and passed. Yeah, so you're right, the government here is, we've been seeing it, we've been hearing it for a long time. But how this government can work these things out with a speaker who is inclined when it comes to the law. You're not dealing with Coke, you're not dealing with Snow, you're not dealing with Ellis Tyler. You're dealing with Kofa, who is inclined when it comes to the law. That's what he said. He's going to go through the legal part of it. And if the Supreme Court said, if you rule against him, he will accept the ruling. But the way we see things, I don't think the Supreme Court will want to rule, because the Supreme Court will be setting precedent now that anybody, group of men, after this, if the Supreme Court, they assume the Supreme Court rule in favor of the majority and Skofa Selfie, I take it. When they get together, with what we hear from the chat room, what is trending, I don't know how true it is, but I think I share with us in the chat room there, between Colette, all the different people arguing about position.
On that chat.
Why ain't there the one between Thomas Pala and Joe? We are in the chat room.
You will never share that one.
I didn't get it.
You will not share that one.
I would share it. Even the one that they're talking about Eugene Pagon and I think probably if I had, I would want to share it. So the one that I have privilege to share, I share. But if you have that, you can share it with me too, and I won't shy away from that. Because I think some of the conversation, and I went
why
on,
you want to
sure.
listen to Sissy? Sissy is deliberately getting you off track, and you decide to fall into his
Sissy cannot off track me, because I went on one of my show, and I said on that show, the former president, should be mature at this time to sit and put SAC in a group where people are infiltrating, or people are hacking, or people who are there, you don't even trust them. And I mentioned the Moluba Molu case, so he gotta be smart now to be going and be chatting, people and getting his personal feelings there. You can't do that. And I said it, and I put it out there. I think it was on the scene show or another show. But going back to what I'm saying here is, look, we have to look at a bigger picture here, a bigger picture of our society. What will it take for these people to bring that man, honor his gavel, and let him have due process, get the number and put him up? If it is in the interest of what they said in Liberian people, as far as the 6th count they got against him. If you don't have that if the 6th count you got against him is not a legitimate 6th count, and you want to put your own feeling because he didn't put you on a committee, what your committee has to do with Liberian people, the day-to-day Liberian people to do. What putting on somebody on a committee has to do with that? Liberian about the issue in Liberia. So that's what we should be talking about. If the 6th count that he conflicted, he got all the team, he took this amount, bring it on the table. If you have the legitimate, the evidence, bring it on the table, and he was found guilty.
Okay, I think we are all way over the time from the fight. So let me ask the question here. Is there anything in mind at any point in time down the road, after the Supreme Court speaks, would the president speak out, you think?
Is that for me? Because I'm waiting for you to ask me on the 2 things where the government is involved with. When I say anything about it, there are 2 patrons and want to talk about it. I know we can only drop news that about Prince Johnson when he coming down, but you can't talk about what job we are in, man, talking about who own the land. Now he got all of one. So look, let me say this. This is a lazy attempt, and I saw my brother got way close to the edge, but you call himself back. After Prince Johnson has said that in that interview, then right after that, the man fall down, then he died. That interview made it after he talked about the senator going in the hotel. Look, sometimes you gotta be serious about our country when we talk about it. How many times Prince Johnson didn't say things about George Weah in the heat of the politics, and y'all all came and disagree? For a senator to insinuate that because 42 people or 47 people are in a hotel, therefore it is impossible For anybody to be able to hold those people in that hotel and feed them, therefore it has to be the government. That gossip, that political gossip. And for you to try to put some credibility on that, and that's the same gossip you get to back in with today. Somebody asking what's the proof. You say, oh, let me tell me say Allah. Let me prove that Allah. How can I prove to you that I didn't take 900,000 out? That's how logic work this time. So look, man, if I will tell you this, and I keep telling the seditions this thing over and over. If the man that you're called sleeping ponyon, they papa who got battery in your house, who was supposed to die so many times. If their papa was sleeping every day, were close to death, can get seditions, lawmakers seditions, to disrespect George Weah and say we will go on the other side, we will follow the man, then that means your political party that just left office lacks the will and lacks the ability to become a political party because you got no ideology. You're still to more for that to go spy the man, tell to one of the three wise men. He didn't come back. You're there trying to suspend people that ain't even belong to your party. You still forget your coalition. So if this crisis is happening, and the owner of the land, my uncle, because my uncle said he owned the land too now. How to call it? Joseph. If George Weah owns the land, if your political party is so strong, instead of blaming other people, first of all, align your political your legislators behind the side that you say we are. Then when you align there, you can come here and preach to us that somebody else is doing it. But you don't even have control over that. You have more people in the House of Representatives than the Unity Party. You have more people between the two people than the Unity Party. So why don't you look at your own house?
Yeah, so Cece inserted something here, and I said that there are two things I kind of like came to mind when I knew this thing was going to escalate to a different level. You remember we had a conversation here. I said one of the biggest mistakes made by Speaker of Kofa was to take the media, or to take on the LA to go at these people, because that was something I think that where he kicks the can down the road, because that itself was taking a wrongful fight, because there was not an argument about the public sentiment cannot help you. It was all making a political consolidation with the 73% excluding you, 72 excluding you, to get the number. But I'm kind of like surprised too that, all on the last 6 months, and he saw his vote that got him to be where he is, and he was unable, from what we see, to build that political consolidation to get that number, because it's all about the number. That didn't happen. But Keto, Sister says something profound here. Is it fair to say one of the group or the people that will get us to be in this mess is your seditions? Because I don't see the reason why. There are only two possible reasons. Either Kofa is not a born seditions that they've been asking, he's not one, or either getting to be popular to more than George Weah. I couldn't just imagine why seditions in drove congressmen, parliament members, if you will to call them, to have been so quick and fastly persuaded to take that sort of action. Why do you think they did that?
Well, to be honest with you, this is the reason why, you just said, you were saying something like maybe Kofa could another bona fide sedition or whatever. Most of those guys who, with the exception of Thomas Fala, most of the guys who joined the minority group, they are not bona fide seditions.
So why?
Like
okay,
Congress.
So they got bona fide sedition and bona fide sedition. Yahweh, tell the poor Joseph sedition soon.
They came from the other political party. All right. Some of them ran on independent with John C. They ran on citizen ticket to get the votes, and later on they went back to the political institution. But that's not even the point. The fact here is these people, to be honest with you, sometimes we look at our political setting. Now we're getting to understand that identical house, the amount of corruption that takes place in the house is unbearable. Money exchanging hands, committees that people go on, that they get their salary says like chicken change for the committee to go on. So looking at the speaker and not putting it on certain committees, somebody decided, in my opinion, I'm gonna go with the black so we can move the speaker. It's all about the money. It's not about the commitment.
So what's about talking about these people are not correct? What's about the deputy speaker? This guy, this guy literally pronounced that he was going to stand with the speaker, and all of a sudden, we saw him taking somebody from outside of the chamber in the play, and quick, the person put it their pen left hand up, and he didn't even have the courage to say, "Oh no, man, change your hand and use your right hand." And quick, they did it.
You have Thomas Farah, according to what we know. Thomas Farah, when they asked Thomas Farah to participate in the election, he refused because again they told him to resign his deputy speakership and then go into the election. Had he done that, you are going
to lose. He saw his own shadow quick.
So he didn't refuse because he loved the CDC. He refused because it was in his own interest not to resign a deputy position because he loved both of the positions.
I think that's what happens. They kind of politically, Terry speak to that before, right? They kind of politically play on him. And I said that before. He thought that there's no way Unity Party could have rewarded you that speakership. I don't know what was going in his mind, first of all, to think that if he unseat Fanati and he think there's somebody they're going to throw on the table. You saw Koga. Koga there was leading this kind of conspiracy, and you think they want their party agenda to go through, moving your speaker, and you think you're going to be there. You are just going to be like, they're just going to use you. Terry, this guy argument, is it arguable that, they were not CDC, people correct CDC and this and that? What's about the Fala? Fala was the one, his actions was the game changer in this whole thing. His action. And two, I was surprised. The former president as well. And this is why all of these political parties, no ideologies, they are social club, they do not have an agenda. You out of the country. What CDC didn't realize, you as an opposition occupying that sort of important, consequential, number 3 person in the country, and you hearing that they are trying to remove this guy, and your president, you're still around the Southwest regions and all of that, you could not call some sort of quick emergency meeting and say, hey, guys, stand down immediately. You need to come to your senses. That wasn't done. The former president waited until the whole train derailed, then he came into the picture. So is it true most of the conversation in the backyards that COFA is not a true sedition, it's not a born sedition. The COFA factor was getting to be more or less gaining momentum for possibly 2029. So that was another political way of slowing down his momentum, because I just couldn't get it. Let's see what Joseph Boyka did on with his own. All right, taking this guy here, taking him out of the country to create this sort of insurrection within the capital. But what's about the man, George Weah himself? Okay, let me bring in another Boashian here, a long-time friend of Joseph Boyka. Wow, you see all the Boyka men, everybody, wow. Oh. I think I need to switch gear. Yeah.
But you're already where? What you want? You want to do anyway?
I will send a link. I will send a link for LBS to you tomorrow. Yeah, so you can change that.
Yeah, they can't take me there. When I go there, then you are going to lose a job right now. You lose a job. Okay, Mose, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, gentlemen. How you?
Yeah, so okay, let's respond quick before. Yeah, it's better late than never. But we will just have a few more minutes since you're here. Yeah.
So you will never have Keto putting his people under the bus, but deep down in Keto heart, he grieving. And you understand it. And you and I know that. Because what legitimized the majority black was Tomofala. What legitimized the majority, that I believe that some of the things are making the Supreme Court, because even if Senate you want rule in favor of them, the legitimization of the majority black, from my perspective, came when Tomofala chose to go there and preside, with the statement that I consulted my lawyers and my lawyers advised me in this regard. You know, whether if Tomofala did not know that there was a coup d'etat and all of that, well, That could be discussed for another day, but I doubt that Thomas Fala did not know. The only thing I see that is going on, they are all political mirage. Thomas Fala, I can let you don't know this. That first of all, Thomas Fala knew exactly that he was not going to take the speakership position. That is just off. Thomas Fala was fighting to maintain his position because he knew that the Unity Party were going for it and going for it all out. One of the things the guy said was that Zena Norman, that his first time in the house. DJ Blue, Sese Man, that his first time in the house. You understand? So these two guys do not know the politics in the house. They went to that place and they affixed their signature to a resolution. They did not know that that resolution had the power to remove Funati Kofa. Then they stating that, oh, we put our signature to the resolution because we wanted for the people to come in the joint chamber. Men like Koga, who have removed 2 speakers. That these people that you think you going there body where I know how to give you
Koga is a very cantankerous human being.
Yeah, and even Thomas Fala was there when they removed what you mean, Edwin Snow. He was there when they removed Talor. Thomas Fala is not today politician in the legislature. Then you're telling me that he didn't know what was going on? How can sedition be so foolish? That is why I told you, I said these people, they don't have no strategy to come back to power. Then President Weah remain outside of the country until his man, everything, the whole Zinho fall down on the man. Then you come and you say you want 10 things around. How you going to do it? How
Okay,
you going to do
even
that?
though it better late than never, our own man from the senator of Joe Biden, I thought he traveled into Angola and other places since he went to see Boyka the other day. I mean, I learned that you met Boyka the other day. He was in Delaware, correct?
Yeah, I did.
You are a friend of Joseph Boyka, right?
Yes, I'm a nephew of Joseph Boyka, just as Sese and everybody else. Traditional, okay. We all are nephews of Joseph Boyka.
Not me.
You are.
Boss, you even say hi to me, say you throw me on the bus straight.
Why you guys from the Grenada area call the Lothians Dodi?
Oh, Daddy Dodi, Benny, you want to bring here? You want to hold me on the Dodi? Look, but on a serious note, yeah, and I know we want to find a lengthy time to be here. It's good to have you back here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm late.
Yeah. Judging from your background, that's what I'm going to take the conversation before we go. We might not conclude it here because you will provide security background here. This old man is being exposed to danger. Much is not being done to protect our president. He's been exposed a lot of places. We saw somebody rushing into him with his whatever university place there, investigation, endless. We're saying they're exposing the president just too much everywhere. Every little drumbeat, they take the president there and nothing much. You don't see the kind of things that's supposed to be happening. Now, let me just quickly here. Let's tap into you here. What are your own observation with respect to the president going places or things? There are other things we hearing when he was in Delaware as well. He was exposed to a danger. We're just getting those information. Let's hear you.
Well, good evening, gentlemen. Before I just say my little piece on the security, as far as the president, I just wanted to say thank you. The conversation was very good as far as the first branch of the government is concerned. And I think that there's equal, and I keep hearing people say the government. We need to be a little careful when we label those departments the government. The government is inclusive of the people. And that's why they call them the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. And so we need to be specific when we address these people. When we're looking at those things, just like they said, there's no interference from one branch to the other. I am of the mindset that the Supreme Court is not going to rule in favor of anybody. I think the Supreme Court, doing its due diligence, is supposed to decide whether somebody, any other group, violated another person's rights as far as the Constitution is concerned. But the rules, they cannot, the Supreme Court cannot rule on the House ruled on when to remove a speaker, when not to remove a speaker. That's my own significant. You see, one of the things that is lacking in that country, we took civics from Liberian schools out of the schools long time ago. I learned in civics many years ago, coming up in Liberia, the different branches of government and their functions independently, their functions. And I still carry that with me. Why we're not teaching civics? The second point I want to make here is this. All these fights would not be going on if we look at the tenures of office of these people, of these different branches. The tenure of office for the legislative body has been exacerbated to 9 years for senator and 6 years for House of Representatives. Now, do you think that if there was 2 years, as it was in the past, do you think they'll be fighting today? Because they'll hold their horses and say in 2 years we'll vote the man out. And 2 years can come real quick. But we're talking about the term of office.
Was it 2 years before the 1986 Constitution?
Correct. They have been.
Yeah, 2?
It was 2 years. We copied that of the United States. That's democracy. It was 2 years. It was 4 years with the president.
Before the 1986, before Doe took over, was 2 years?
It was 2 years when, yes, during Tolbert administration. I believe that. I stand corrected. But I know it was not 6 years. I know it was 6 years. But because we rather than follow the electoral process prior to talk, people never really paid attention to it. Growing up, as a kid, we knew that election came and we just heard, oh, the people being inaugurated. That was it. So I just wanted to, insert those points. But you guys made some excellent points as far as that is concerned. I think the need to look at the tenure of office of the legislative body, the Senate, and because you're talking about Prince Johnson, the late Prince Johnson, 7-3 term, that's 27 years, folks. 27 years. These are major conversations that needs to be held, and people need to be educated around these things and how much damage can be done if someone doesn't, want to really do anything. How are the people empowered to do anything?
But was not to cut you off. There was a referendum, Judge. When they were calling for the reductions. To my utmost surprise, I was stunned. It was thrown out completely.
Of course.
What was responsible for that?
Well, it was supposed to happen during Ellis' administration. It was one of the things that was talked about that should have happened during Ellis' administration. But because the first tenure of office was very busy trying to put things in order accordingly, she did not address it. But the second term of office, it still didn't happen. It still didn't happen. But that's a serious problem. The term of office is going to affect our country for the rest of for the future of our country. It's going to affect us, not positively.
But we had a referendum.
So how do you post-war who don't know the their civil duties as citizens? How do you convince them for referendum?
I was one of those people who campaigned to defeat all of the referendums that were on the ballot that year, including the dual citizenship referendum.
Okay.
Yeah, why you don't get nothing for your bomb kind of big.
But that besides the point. I just wanted to make those 2 points. Now we come to security. The thing about it is that whether or not you're in love with Joseph Boakai, with the Excellency Joseph Yuma Boakai, there's certain things that come when it comes to security. The office of the presidency is entitled to certain sense of protection. That office, when you work, you protect the office. You're not actually protecting the individual, because anything happens to that individual, it creates a serious issue for the country, because that's the chief administrator of the nation. And I heard you guys talking earlier, just like what happening with the legislators now. What happened during the elections, we have people in the Capitol wearing paraphernalia of different political parties. When those people are working for the country, they're not working for the individual senators and representatives. But again, some of the things that are on the books there, as far as who's responsible for what and how these people show their allegiance, is all confusing. People think they work for the senators and the legislators. And so it's the same thing that's with the executive. People think they work for His Excellency Joseph Boycott, but actually they're working for the Liberian people to protect the seat of the presidency. And that's why you need to do your due diligence when it comes to security. You're protecting that country when you protect the man in that seat. And I think that's something that people need to get a grasp of. And you're absolutely right. There's been a lot of instances where the president have been places, and I can tell you the threat level, we don't even know about security threat in our country to say whether it's high or it's low. And the current president is being taken to places, and I'm watching, and I see there's no sense of security, no order of what needs to happen before. People don't even go to sweep places before the president gets there. Those are things that are required. I'm not sure if they're even doing that, because if they're doing that, they will suspect things and tell it. And you gotta have plan A, B, C, D of any eventuality.
You started with Vice President. The age, I can't even count the age. Have you addressed this thing with some of the folks closer to the president?
Mr. Saw, you see, people need to be willing to get information and then to reach out if they don't know how. And you can reach out to them, but they need to be willing to adhere to someone, to just listen.
So I'm not going to mention here.
There are people.
Hold on one second. The president is no stranger with you. You met him in the past, in the campaign. You went to Liberia. They know your age. Is it that the door is closed on some of you guys, or what?
The door is closed on you too. The door is closed on a lot of people. There are a lot of us here who mean well for the nation and want to see the right thing happen, but can't get anywhere. You can say all you want to say, and that's why I think the shows is good to get people on there and to get, some of the training that needs to happen. And people, you see, the thing about it is everybody want to look like hero.
The last time I saw him, only when he came here to the function, I was just doing my job. And then when you were LPMC manager, you've been going back and forward. You have been in the vanguard of this campaign. You've been putting strategy in place. So the door being closed on you is far different from my door being closed on. I've not had anything,
Well, granted, my brother, you see that there's something that called when it's your time, it's your time. The day they call me or Sissy or anybody on the show to say we need your contribution, I don't think these guys would say no. Anybody here would say no. But when you walk in there, you see that people are threatened by the presence of people from the diaspora, and that we speak objectively in these situations, and you don't make blames. Some of the simple things in security that needs to be put in place, you don't even see it. You don't even see it. And I was just there in April. I observed a whole lot, and I can read a book on what I observed.
We need to find time. I need to know some of those things in our audience, because we just getting to know. We learned that the president was miserably exposed during his visit in Delaware, which was very dangerous.
Yeah,
we got to talk about that. We're just getting that information. They're doing something, and I know you are.
the protection of the president on the foreign soil is both the responsibility of the receiving government.
Yeah.
More, it's 75% the receiving government than the government that's visiting. So
well, that is so true. However, you see, the policy of the U.S. is adhere to first before foreign leaders come here, and the negotiation will determine the level of security that government official receives. Now, taking the case of Wekube, where he used to go to Ghana unknown to the people, what happened? What happened there? It became a big
people used to scramble. They used to scramble to get to do that. But that's like we're comparing Ghana with America. America would never allow for foreign dignitary. It's a whole different thing.
But guess what? I've been in this thing for quite a while. I remember when other presidents came here, you went to visit multiple service personnel. You may not have known them, but there are multitudes of Secret Service presence. Today, if the president comes here and you go to the hotel to see him, you may only count maybe 1 or 2 Secret Service officers. Those are things that need to be addressed. How can they be addressed? It needs to come through the State Department. Do we know the process? Are we aware of the process? Which means the power to be, how the negotiations are happening. You see, these are questions that need to be answered. I had a couple of my friends who used to do detail for Ellen, for Mrs. Johnson when she came. And these guys were calling, oh, your president came and this and that, rather not to put them out there. But I knew when she was coming, I knew who was some of the people that were on the details. You see? But this is not what's happening.
Can I?
So for some of us that have been involved in arranging security detail, for back then, former vice president and vice president coming to Minnesota, it is virtually impossible for the foreign president to travel without the State Department being coordinated. I remember at one point in time, there was a decision to bring him here when he was just former vice president. Folks wanted to scorch and go around there, and the Ramsey County Sheriff's Department, everybody said no, it couldn't happen because the private entity wanted to pay for it, and they said it couldn't happen. It had to go through the State Department. So it is virtually impossible for a president or vice president from a foreign country to come to this soil without the State Department coordinated security. Because I have been involved in it before several times, and I know that for a fact.
I'm telling you something that I literally observed as someone who's been in security for over 30 years. And I'm not making these things out. Okay, forget about coming to this country. What about in our country? In the country of Liberia? The president was taken recently to go and dedicate and do a ribbon cutting for a maternity ward at a clinic. Did you see the video on Spoon? Do you think that was necessary?
Are we talking security protection or political necessity?
What Spoon said, and from what Spoon disclosed, is that the president was mad and requested to leave immediately.
Mad at what? At the security detail or at the political expediency?
Just being there.
Because those are two different things right now.
Gossip. I don't know if it was gossip, but where there's smoke, there's always fire, brother.
Yeah, I agree with you. But for me,
let me tell you something. The fact of the matter is that when you do security, you always learn to be alert at all times. You're not looking at the subject, the principle. You're looking at the surrounding. You're observing. You need to observe the surroundings. So when you're observing the surroundings and don't see what you expect to know that is supposed to be placed there and how he's moving in,
you can stop the president from going there.
It creates a sense of danger for the office, not for the individual. That's from where
sorry, but to add,
that I'm speaking.
yeah,
No,
to add to what you're saying too.
We can talk about, but
yeah, all right. I know we have a time here. I'm
I'm
not sure. The thing too, I don't know. The other thing here too, quickly, I'm not sure whether nowadays they can really give these security. But I can remember those days, there was certain time though wanted to visit Stephen Tower Estate. This guy, the director of SSI, one director, Thomas, used to be a big body guy. And he was living on that side. When they come, you see a group of people would just come, and sometimes when they're ready, I don't know how they really used to do it, but in as much this guy was military man, after he transformed to whatever civilian president, ready, say president, not going, you're not going. But I don't know whether these people nowadays they have that sort of same authority to say, hey, because they are there to provide protection for the president. They go to do their first advance team goes ahead, surveillance, and see if they find out like, hey, this place is, it just not.
But those are things that you're not supposed to see. Those are things that are supposed to be hidden. And the other part of that is we don't know. At least I'm not in security briefing to find out whether there's an advanced team, because there's an advanced team you're talking about, and there's an advanced team that goes and try to sweep or not sweep, and what they report back to the president. I can't speak to that because none of us will ever be able to speak to that unless we are in that circle, right? We only see what happens in front of. We only see what happens in front of us at the time. So we don't know what's happening behind the scenes, and we don't know whether to the clinic or the other places, whether the advanced team went and they swept and they found out that was good. But it would be very difficult for any modern day president to travel with the kind of security detail that Samuel Doe travel with, because the threat levels are different. The threat levels are different because President Doe, there was always an attempt to assassinate him, or there was always a perceived attempt to overthrow his government. That threat level was different from now. You can't expect people to travel the same way Doe traveled back then.
Sissy, equally
Yeah, but
true.
Sissy, what we must also take into consideration
The threat is even more than Doe time because of technology.
that the president had two breach.
Who's trying to kill Joseph Baga before more than Doe time? You serious about that talk? So Joseph Baga is seen.
For example, Joseph Baga,
Because of technology.
No, so,
technology is not for assassination. You can say we compromise and stuff like how they compromise the CDC chat room and put all your way chat outside. Yeah, that's the technology.
My concern
DJ Blue. You're looking at that DJ Blue phone, the people hype.
No one is discriminating here that Joseph facing more threats. My assertion only
hold
on one second.
Yeah. No, Moses, and now you are more, and now you that I'm on the phone.
Most finish your point before we start wrapping up.
Yes, we're not insinuating that Boca is facing more threat. We're just looking at the security.
No, I got your point. We actually honor you there. I was talking to Joseph Baga facing more threat right now. I hear all laughing away blue phone. What the former president using? What they can hack everything.
But we need to take security. I can tell you one thing.
Time security threat to modern day security threat to back on to what the modern day security threat is even worse.
Catch on, hold on 1 second. More finish your point, and then we'll start wrapping up.
Yeah, let me just say, I am more concerned about the security of the nation as well, and that you cannot make economic improvement without security. People need to feel secure everywhere they go and free to go places. And when you go to Liberia, you see the threat level. There's evidence. There's evidence that everyone walking around is vulnerable to anything. Now, one of the biggest things that happened in our country, two, immediately after the president's inauguration, one happened when he went to dedicated school and someone walked on him and grabbed him by the shoulder. The second thing that happened was the 18th day of his administration when the so-called military wives shut down the country and blocked all the roads. Major, we don't have too many roads. The major areas, up to now, there has been no security investigation that we know of. No report came out.
They released a report on the UMU incident. There was a report that came out on the university incident.
Not a university. I'm talking about the shutdown when the military.
Okay, no, I'm just talking about one of them because there was a report. The government released a report.
But the military wives, I don't know what happened with that investigation, who was brought for questioning, and not that they need to expose it, but there has to be something done to deter it from happening again. And that's where the prevention piece comes in. You take the measures and put them in place so that this thing won't occur again. So you need to have that conversation. You need to go and investigate so that you can prevent something from happening in the future. But our people are not sophisticated enough to do some of the things, the regular people. In other places, oh my God. The vulnerability level is very high in our country.
Okay.
And so we're gonna stop there for now, like Brother Soul said.
Time
to do a special on security, course on the security apparatus, and they know how to speak on this issue where they can't give too much information.
All right.
You're taught to make the conversation interesting and see some of the measures that are put in place and whatnot through septic, crime prevention, through environmental design, and all of those things. There are a lot of things that need to happen. But the citizens in our country and businesses are refusing to go there because of the lack of security and freedom to move about.
Okay. Terry, you want to say something before we go?
Yeah, I just want to say something. Liberia will never have a good security no matter what kind of expert you send there right now. With the condition of the state, you don't have job. Job alone is security. You don't have food security. There is no road connectivity. These are some of the things that make investors cannot go to Liberia. You don't have stable electricity. You don't have water. Citizens don't have these basic necessities. You know, these necessities are alone as security all by themselves. So even if you carry an bunch of expertise to Liberia, you will still struggle. Like with the issue you raised about the military wives, there is no manner of security that could contain that. It was just difficult because these people, they felt vulnerable. They felt that they were not taking care of their necessity, and you don't want to have the military wives trying to carry on protestation in that manner in regards to the basic necessities. So I think the government will need to start to begin to address those major issues that will lessen the burden on the security apparatus and then make the job much easier. I think from my perspective that would be what would settle our security issue once and for all.
Well, you're speaking of the executive. The government is inclusive of everybody.
Yeah, when we say the government, normally when we say GOL, we're speaking about the executive. It's a traditional way of expression. It doesn't mean that the government is not three branches and inclusive and the people included. But normally in our traditional tongue, when we say GOL, because you got most of the power, you influence all the three branches of government based upon what you control.
You see, Collins, that's what we need to start correcting. The executive does not have all power. The three branches have equal powers.
I agree.
And you know that.
But I know that. But the executive have always influenced. Yeah, but the executive in most countries around the world, including this country we're in, the executive always influences the three branches of government. Take, for example, now, let's say we're talking about the court. Under Joe Biden, this or under what they were talking about, it was under control and all of that. But since they heard of Trump leadership, there are many things changing across America, even in the court systems. You know, so when we say GOL, traditionally we're talking about the executive because we know the power that the executive exercise is like they usurp authority over both branches. You know, that's just my view.
All right, guys. Okay, let's leave it for the end of the day. We will be back here on Friday, maybe well, next channel, what are you getting again? Maybe the temple of
The Southeast sister again, you know.
I'm putting my money inside. I'm trying to go to Liberia for the return of the diaspora. I'm trying to make peace with everybody in Liberia.
Man,
I'm not going to see you at the airport today.
You see, we need to have a whole show about that nonsense they're doing in Liberia.
They had a whole group of people there, and they were there with
they had 13 people. 13 people went home today, and they brought a whole village of people to come and greet 13 people for return of diaspora. That country, they can really give a
No, but yeah, but you know
I saw someone looking at you.
Got to scarf on the higher up.
If I go there more, they will grab me for rental baggage claim. So I gotta wait here for the first. I'm not part of before I go.
So in order to put this to a step, then we got to start on the higher up, because every time presidents they come in, then the literally entire government shut down, ministers leaving offices, directors, when they're supposed to be meeting some investors, when other people are supposed to be carrying interruptions of civil public activity. That need to stop, though. They need to stop.
The people have culture dancers dancing for 13 people that return to get ready for the diaspora return. And I was like, yo, man, something is going on here.
Well, everybody not hero.
No, I stay here, yo.
I think we need to tell Elon Musk that about our country, all guys, caught them. And we sit down because but certain people just enjoy it.
I stand by to receive my own cash.
But here's the problem.
I was saying,
somebody got to go sign the paper. And somebody got to be having the bank that will cash your check. Some of your check there when read to you with every paper they had to get it, and they can't pay money where they went for them for
so that the two speakers will go sign a check.
Somebody will get the paper.
That is
check.
Yeah, man. I've got the power how to draw.
I think that's what we're doing on these shows, to begin to educate the little minds and share it. And every time now we get on these shows, I hope people see it as a learning moment. And I think whether you agree with it or not, whether someone says something stupid or not, I think it's a teaching. You should use it as a teaching tool, because that's how people start to share the information. And I think the education aspect, it cannot be done only in the classroom. And we live in this United States, we see a lot of things going on, and people having talk shows and talking about these serious issues. So I think
the backdrop of all of this thing is poverty.
For doing
you say whole time they will go.
How do you empower the people? Everybody is
comfortable. I think we should put system before.
Most of the people there are comfortable.
We'll have people before system.
I owe you favor, you owe me favor.
Because the people
and you know all my secrets. So the day I go against you, just
okay, guys. Let's wrap up here. Keto, you on the phone? Let's hear you. 1 minute. Where is it? Put a system in place. The system that was in there. Put a system.
Yeah, I think also we should put system before people. And if we put system before people, we'll get good result. But we do the opposite. We put people before system. And so these people come, they are not doing what they're supposed to do, and we get frustrated. We invest in the system, we make sure the system works. So when you come, you work. If we elect you, you work according to the system, not according to what you want to give the people. And if we can do that, it will be good. Remember the bishop from Ghana, he said if we have something of law, that if this president comes into office, the responsibility is for him to do roads, build hospital, build this in the first 5 years. If he doesn't do it, you kick him out. So there should be a set criteria. We don't do that. We let the people come and just tell us what they want to tell us, and we sit down and we dance to the song. Even if they're misbehaving, they are not being productive, we back them regardless, because we put them there with fasting.
So, okay, I don't think we get more than 55 bishops in our country. We don't need to be taking bishops from Ghana, Zimbabwe, the other one came from Nigeria the other day. I don't know where it became. So we get enough bishop in there. So unless they're not reading the Bible, or they don't know the scripture, then that's a different thing. Terry.
Bishop Collins, please.
Yeah.
Bishop Collins.
The church have played a major role in politics in and around the world. If you only want to join the church, you will not. Say you got to come on because you want to be president or something.
I will pay my tax. I will pay my tax to you, but I will keep it. When you get president, I'll bring it.
Look at America, the greatest country in the world. Look at the president. There have not been a single president that have ruled America that did not come from the church. The church have produced
the 45, 47 working from the church. The man can say 2 Thessalonians walking against the second Thessalonians. The man come from the church. The church forcing it. He come from the church. The man get no church home. He get no church. He get no pastor.
No, Trump went to.
The man get no pastor. You get show you pastor.
But anyway, Mr. School, thank you for the show. We hope to see that the Supreme Court is going to do well. We are praying to God that our country become very better. And I believe that there are too many. I believe President Booker made a mistake when he gathered certain people around him. The only thing I'm praying for is that for him to acknowledge it sooner and break that chain, or else his government will go down train. It will continue to go down train because you got a lot of expertise outside of his belt that really contributed, like the likes of John Molu. When he did that thing to John Molu, everybody got afraid to say, but what kind of government President Booker coming to run? The only person I see so far that, even though I had problem with him earlier on, was Gaffan. I think Gaffan will make a good leader, and I think Gaffan is going to do well. But I think the president needs to reshuffle his government as soon as possible, if and only if he can. Because like Mr. Moses said, there are some things that Mr. Moses said that I want to agree with, because the two breach that took place with the president in the presidential, and even he didn't make mention of the inauguration. Yeah. The inauguration was also a security issue. All right. And it was it was very poor. And even that place he's talking about that the president went, sometimes security can tell you, president say, look, I know you've been brief, but from our details and information we gather, that place is not suitable for you to go. So but thank you for the show, Mr. So thank you for having us. Yeah.
Hey, I say it's still soon. You're talking about your president. It's just not more. 10 more years, so don't start crying here. It's too soon.
That might lay my advice to the president if he's listening.
Okay, Moss.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity again. And I'm going to try to be more frequent on here because the information is interesting and the conversation is more open. And I hope we can continue the objectivity of the conversation. I will speak to two things. Number one is that the legislators, I hope that the Supreme Court is not going to come up with a ruling that will interfere with the rules of the legislative body. They have rules of how to function. 39 is a quorum to host a section, and 49 is the 2/3 majority vote needed.
Most don't make us to already get this conversation. Of course, it's a rule here. So you don't want that. So why they can't allow these things to play out in chambers?
Because you made a point earlier when I was listening that the speaker prematurely jumped the gun when he went on the air. Because I can tell you, Fanati and myself, we're talking all that stuff. If I was speaker, here's what I would do. We saw what happened here, where Marjorie Taylor Greene went in and said she wanted Johnson out of there. What happened? She was talking about herself. But when it went first, they said they wanted, what's his name, out of there. They had the support. And they had to get Democrats from the other side. Even to put Johnson in, Democrats had to come in. They kept battling with it. Not once did the Supreme Court interfere in it. Not once did the President of the United States jump into it. They left them to do their problems, to solve their, that's in something that comes with their rules. So I would hope, and they bring in ECOWAS to come. What are you talking about? It was a shame to say ECOWAS should come in and intervene and bring intervention. As the speaker, Fanati shouldn't have gone on the air prematurely.
So quickly here, are you saying the Supreme Court should send this back to the House or what? Or you don't want to
back to the House? It's under their rules. The rules is not a constitutional document that was passed by the legislator. It's under the rules. The rules are there. It's not constitutional, man.
It supersedes the constitutional issue. Are there any constitutional issue, do you think, in this whole thing here that requires the interpretation of the Supreme Court?
Here's my interpretation. The Constitution says the House has the right to elect a speaker. That's what the Constitution says.
And what the Constitution says regarding removing the speaker?
Removing majority.
Yeah. That's all about a majority. It's not just on a resolution. It has to be put in. It has to be put on the floor and voted upon. Did that happen?
That's where the legislator conduct themselves to do that.
Did that happen?
Yeah, play here. How many times they didn't vote before Johnson went in? No one interfered. It's in-house. This is under their rules.
Okay.
This is under their rules.
You got to come back here. You got to come back here at Wembley Stadium.
That's the first thing that I wanted to talk about. So that I hope everybody waiting for the Supreme Court ruling. I hope that the Supreme Court does not come in and say this person went as people are expecting, and say, oh, the majority black won or the minority black won, and they're not supposed to do this. Let them interpret their own rules and do their own thing. Because we know what happened in that room when they did. They do their thing. Nobody go there to do it for them. So now they need to put their big boys pants on and resolve that issue.
Okay. Sissy, I'm not sure whether they were able to adequately being argued by our guy here, whether they were able to adequately interpret their own rules. That didn't happen. Something went down the road. Something appears not to be right, and that's how it proceeded to the Supreme Court of Liberia.
That's what leadership comes in.
The Supreme Court, the Supreme Court did not go looking for, they're not Tamba Court. We weren't looking for people making flowers. They can't judge your case. Somebody went to the Supreme Court, right? So first of all, the analogy about what happened here in the House of Representatives is way different than what happened in Liberia. That's why the Supreme Court didn't jump in. In the House here, due process was accorded. They followed their rules. They followed their order. And due process was accorded. In Liberia, Fonati is saying they did not follow their rules, they did not follow their order, and due process was not accorded. And there's another group that's saying, no, we did follow our rules. And so now there is a conflict in the interpretation of their rules. Therefore, the Supreme Court now has to come to interpret what the rules says. So you can read all your rules all you want, as long as there's a meeting of the mind. If all of you agree that the rule is being carried out, Supreme Court does not come and say, oh no, we're going to check it all over. But when there is a dispute, which is what is happening right now in Liberia, which is what did not happen here in America, hence the reason the Supreme Court did not get involved here, is what happened in Liberia is that there's a disagreement on the rule. And actually here, when the process was going on, no one Democrat voted for Johnson. All of the Democrats kept voting for Hakeem Jeffries. It was the Republicans that elected their own senator, their own speaker after they got tired with their craziness. I'm saying this to say that the Supreme Court,
we had few Democrats that
there was none. Go look at it. They kept voting for Hakeem Jeffries.
Corrected.
Go look at it. I just look right now to verify again because we followed that. All Democrats were in line with Hakeem Jeffries. All Democrats. None of them for the
two-thirds or majority.
They don't need the majority, simple majority. They don't need 2/3 for speaker. Simple majority. So all of the Democrats were in line with Hakeem Jeffries, who is
39. So we can consider 39 simple majority.
But the problem here is that yes, 39 gives you a speaker, but to remove and what they wrote in their rules was they follow it here. So that those are
maybe I misspoke.
Those are two different things. The other piece is in Liberia, to terrorist point, the security issues. Joseph Boakai bought an armored vehicle. Everybody start complaining. When you get money, the man buy armored vehicle. So how will the man protect himself at the same time? You're not complaining, say the man using government money. The money the man used to buy one bulletproof vehicle could have been 10 hospital. But you're the same people saying the man's supposed to travel as Samuel do in multiple bulletproof. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
To protect the president.
I will say this.
Is that the argument?
We'll do what?
No, go ahead, brother.
I will say this. There are always competing needs in Liberia.
Exactly.
We don't have enough resources. A security analyst can sit down here and say, let's put a lot of money into security. I would tell you, if you have an uneducated population, security is nothing. In fact, security is also uneducated. So as an educator, I would say put money more into education. Forget about the funny people passing around and take all the Topasoya there from the street. Because we have an educated population that understands civics, you don't need Topasoya and be running around. So they get rid of the whole military and put all the money into education. So there are competing needs. The reason why we elect a president is for that person to sit down and try to prioritize. That is why people go through elections. And to get us point, which I don't agree with, that people will tell the president what we want you to do before we elect you. And so it's in the Constitution. There was the reason for somebody running. Because that's why you go through political campaigns. That's why you had an arrest agenda for this group. That is why we had the pro-poor or pro-rich or pro-scary, whatever that pro-team was agenda for the other people there. And you tell us what you want to do for us. Or you lie to us at least on what you want to do for us. That's the whole reason. I remember back in the day when you want a little Jew, you got to go rap up, right? So that in politics, that the rapper, you can rap, or you later, you forget about you go buy a Bennett. That's what we do it every time. So why would you say, we must tell somebody this is what you got to do? We got to bring a Ghanaian man who can speak treat to us to tell us what we're supposed to do when they can't do it in their own country. Look, you elect a government, you live with the consequences. They tell you what they're running on. They tell what Gonglo group, we told you we're running on a 10-point play. And we've been elected, we're going to be carrying on a 10-point play. If you come with 11 points, we said that was 9 years, 10 points. We're looking at it, we're not looking at it. You're there with us 6 years.
Sister, you had to go there, huh?
I had to go there.
This is how the politician promulgate their messages.
You are not supposed to what people closing the argument. You were supposed to kind of give your own unique closing argument, but you're making analysis or assumptions. You can't.
Okay.
And a blessing when you're the last. When you're the last.
You want to speak last because you want to.
When you're the last, that a blessing. I guess my small cash. I remember me last. Is the way you can be doing it.
Pastor Neta and Sister will speak first.
But Moses, it's actually always good having you on, but you've been gone for a while. I would really love to have you and Mr. Barker on, and we can just sit and really learn from you. Because as an educator, when I walk into a security space, I don't know what is not there. You have an eye that we don't have, right? I walk into a security place, I see the president, I just say that I buffoon. Oh, I know, I see that yet. But for you, you have a trained eye to see what is there, what is not there, what is absent, that we common people don't see. Just like the preacher would say, well, I read the Bible differently. I don't see anything that he will see or interpret in a different way. So we really love to have you here, and Mr. Balcon, so we can really hear some of the security implications and analysis. But it's always good having you on.
There are few of us around here who have gone, who've been in this field for a long time, and we usually talk and come up with some things that say this wasn't right, this wasn't right. And we're going to make an effort and try to reach, but the people.
He did I read his documents, even the post-war Liberia security structure proposal, Helen Johnson said, maybe your own paprika again, you get time for nephew. Yeah.
That because of you, so.
And you put yourself in there more. You put yourself in there more.
Johnny now is the only man. If you talk, the only man I just listen to. When Johnny now get a phone number, your own God.
Let me tell one thing. I know the liberal will come back for me. Remember during the election?
Wow, the liberal listening coming tomorrow.
During the election, liberals say, Sir Johnny there, Sir Johnny na Boaka, Sir Johnny na my man. Say Sir Johnny te now the liberal can't because Sir Johnny, Sir Johnny
on airplane mode right now. You call it go to vote.
I think that because the liberal got it, the same blue phone that Joey got hacked, so that I make it can't answer your call.
I don't trust liberal. The liberal is you know him today, you don't know him tomorrow. Okay, guys. guys. Have a
Labor will
pleasant
come for you tomorrow.
I beg you, Augusta.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Well, Stuart, thank you. And,
Bye.
sorry for being late, but
Oh, no, that's okay. All right. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, who went over the time so badly tonight. But I want to thank you so much. It's all good. This is the first time we say thank you so much for sharing your Wednesday evening with us. The Liberal Progressive going to be here tomorrow and Friday. By God's willing, we'll be back here. By then, hopefully, we will know what happens Capitol Hill from the Temple of Justice. Too much is ongoing. We want to thank you so much and have a pleasant evening. Just in case you have an event inside Liberia, right here, USA, no matter your location, whatever it is, let us know and we will kind of like showcase you and get it right out there on the stage. In the meanwhile, this weekend, you're going to be a big event here. The dress code is gold and black. That's the 60th birth anniversary of my man, Jefferson Gray. You're going to be taking place at Jefferson Street, right Capitol Hill, in the city of Providence, at the Chandelier Runs of right on Jefferson Street. So more or less, I think it's invitational. So if you don't have, then don't go there. All right, just watch this, glue to LPR, and you will watch it. Until then, have a pleasant evening. Yeah, Munant, thank you so much. I don't know where your location, but thank you so much. And just coffee. The coffee will be presented. This is the marathon. Okay, Munant, thank you so much. But again, we say have a pleasant evening. Bye bye.